One consecutive high school football games tonight. Going to be taking on the Fighting Irish of Springfield Catholic Central. Now the Blue Jays come in. They are perfect. 11-0 on the season. The Fighting Irish at 9-2. With me tonight on my left, as always, Scott Stiles, and on my right is Mr. Mike Richards. Mike was with us a couple of times this year. Game 1 and game number 16. I think it was game number 16, right?
Yeah.
And now Mike, thanks. And now Mike Richards is back with us again. Good to see you, Mike.
I'm glad to be here, Carl.
Fans are really pumped up for the game tonight.
They're glad to see you, too.
Everybody's pumped up for a big game between the Blue Jays and the Fighting Irish. Let me tell you, first of all, though, that the pregame show is being brought to you by St. Rita's Medical Center, the region's leader in medical care. From our sports medicine walk-in clinics to 24-hour express and emergency care, that is why they're St. Rita's. And I always have to mention, I've been doing this for 3 straight years, St. John's in the playoffs, and right before during the pregame show, Bob Jenninghoff always yelling out something, trying to get me all messed up. We heard him again tonight, and
he was hot. Wasn't
he was Bob.
This is Bath High School.
Right.
Bath High School.
That's where we're at here tonight, Bath High School. And Mike, game between the Fighting Irish and the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. Now, a good thing about Mike, when he comes into these games, because he doesn't do them very often, when he comes in, he's prepared. He goes to the internet. He's on the Northwest District Board. He's a former football coach at 7 or 8 different schools, so he does a lot of research. So tonight, Mike, the Blue Jays and the Fighting Irish, 9-2, 11-0. What do we know about the Fighting Irish?
Well, they have a tailback named Brendan Doan, and he has gained about 1,400 yards and scored 21 touchdowns, and certainly the Jays are going to have to curtail him. Last week against Hardin Northern, their quarterback threw 2 long touchdown passes, and so I think the key will be contain him and not give up the big play. However, the other thing is Springfield Catholic has 9 guys going both ways and only 28 kids on their roster. So if they're going to jump on the Jays, they're going to have to do it quick.
Well, we know one thing. We saw a guy down here booming some field goals before practice, before the game here tonight.
Yeah, and he looked real good. Into the wind, everything. Of course, no helmet, no shoulder pads, so we'll have to see what he does under pressure.
Of course, Scott, you've seen the Blue Jays several times this year, and again, we have to congratulate. We can't mention all the guys, but the district team, we got several Blue Jays on that. Honorable mention, first team, second team, and all that. And the Jays on a roll right now. What can, from your perspective, seeing them so many times, what can we expect?
Well, you're going to see the option run to perfection tonight with McCormick running the option. The defense, they're phenomenal as well. They come crashing hard on the corners, don't give up any big plays. So it's Springfield's going to have to really have almost a perfect football game night to even be in contention in this football game.
And we'd like to thank Larry Cole, the athletic director over here at Bath High School, providing a lot of great stuff up in the press box for us. It's always great to come over here to Bath and do a high school football game. Pre-game show brought to you by our good friends at the St. Rita's Medical Center, where Scott may be soon with that blood pressure as bad as it is. The region's leader in medical care, from our sports medicine walk-in clinics to 24-hour express and emergency care. That is why there's St. Rita's. Coming up next, we will have for you our starting lineups, and we also will check out Mike Pruitt's keys to the game. We'll do all that right after these. Stay with us.
The gym was like a second home to me.
Hey, Kevin.
And so when I hurt my shoulder and I couldn't do the things I love to do, I knew I needed help. After surgery at St. Rita's and time in the hospital's therapy pool, my shoulder's stronger than ever. Thanks to St. Rita's, I'm back in the gym doing what I love to do, with the people I care about most.
For more about St. Rita's Sports Medicine Program, call us. That's why there's St. Rita's.
Hi, folks. Mike Pruitt here. We're overstocked with 99 model year Tauruses. That's bad for me, but good for you. Buy any 99 Taurus for dealer invoice. Plus, we'll give you $1,500 rebate and 0.9% financing. That's right. You get both. And A&Z planners receive an extra $750 in rebates. We have over 18 acres of cars and trucks and great prices. And that's why nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. Nobody.
WOHL, Lima's Fox Station, in cooperation with the Ohio High School Athletic Association, is proud to present tonight's playoff game. A promotional fee has been paid to the OHSAA for the broadcast rights of this game. Without the support of the following businesses, this game would not have been possible. Reliable Plumbing and Heating. Call Reliable Plumbing and Heating for 24-hour emergency service at 695-2921. Reliable for all your plumbing and heating needs. Delphos, Chevrolet, Buick, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile. Delphi, your hometown dealer serving the Delphos and surrounding communities since 1946. United Equity Incorporated, and Delphos, Spencerville, and Kossuth, your locally owned farmers cooperative. Delphos Food Locker, now offering a variety of meats, cheeses, appetizers, and soups. A proud sponsor of local high school sports. Stop by today. Community First Bank and Trust is now offering 6.0 annual percentage yield CDs for 9 months with a minimum deposit of $500. Limited time offer which may be changed at any time. APY accurate as of announcement date for personal deposits of less than $100,000. Interest penalty for early withdrawal. WOHL Limas Fox Station congratulates all student athletes playing in the 1999 football playoffs.
Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome to Bath High School, where tonight we've got playoff action again here on Fox. It is the regional semifinals. Delphos St. John Blue Jays coming in perfect, 11-0. I said in the pregame show, 41 in a row. They have won 40 games in a row. Going up against Springfield Catholic Central, the Fighting Irish, they come in with a record of 9-2. Time right now to find out the keys to the game, brought to you by Mike Pruitt Ford, where you'll discover for yourself that nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. Nobody. With the keys for tonight, here is Mike Richards.
Thanks, Carl. The keys to tonight's game are, of course, as always, control the line of scrimmage. Whichever team is going to do that and establish the run. Both teams are strong running teams, so that control the line of scrimmage is very important. Springfield Catholic a week ago was able to get the big play against Hardin Northern, so and of course St. John's is always a big play team and can strike from any point on the field. So defensively, both teams have got to try to stop that big play. And probably one of the hidden keys would be to keep up with have a good start at the beginning of the ball game. Springfield Catholic has 9 people going both ways, so it's important that they would get off to a good start, because I think late in the ball game it's going to be St. John's wearing them down.
Those are your keys to the game, brought to you by Mike Pruitt Ford, where you'll discover for yourself that nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. Nobody. And before we get underway, let's go down to the sidelines with Scott Stiles.
Hey, we have a special little picture here tonight, Carl, that a fan sent in to us. It's Coach Richards with the Allen East basketball team. Looks like from maybe 74. Look at this.
What do you got, Mike Richards? Get a close-up of that. What is that there? Mike, you remember that picture?
Yeah, I do.
Does that bring back some memories?
Yeah.
He had hair then. Holy, he had enough hair for the whole basketball team. Holy cow. Were you one of the monkeys? Which one were you?
It was about that time of year.
Well, thanks, Scott.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate that.
Back to you guys.
I tell you, you come out twice, 3 times a year, Mike, and he won't let you go.
Yeah.
He won't let you go.
I'm just glad he shaved for tonight.
Again, the Delphos St. John Blue Jays come in. They are perfect, 11-0. Knocked off some good teams this year. Warren, JFK, Tenora, Perry, New Bremen, Fort Recovery, Parkway, St. Henry, Marion Local, Minster, Coldwater, and then Minster last week in the game on Fox, 76-0. Their head coach, of course, is Todd Scholey. Opponents for Springfield Catholic Central, Northwestern, Springfield Shawnee, Kenton Ridge, Miami East, Milton Union, Lehman Catholic, Benjamin Logan, Tippecanoe, Versailles, St. Paris Graham, Dola Hardin Northern in their playoff game. The opponents winning those football games, you got to go back to the game between Versailles and Springfield was 48-6, and they lost to St. Paris Graham 21-18. Those are their 2 losses. Delphos St. John Blue Jays will get the football first, and they've got some good ones back there. We'll be saying that all night long, Mike. They've got good players all over the place. Zach Weber, Craig Hershey, Ian Weber, some of the guys that return the football for Delphos St. John's. Right now, Dan Murphy going to kick off for Springfield. And look at the ball, Mike. He's going to keep it on the ground.
Yes, he is. They're not going to give him a chance for the long run back.
Squibbler picked up at the 27-yard line, returned by Hershey, looks like, and he goes down around the 23-yard line. That's where the Blue Jays will set up 1st and 10. Let's check your starting lineups, brought to you by St. Rita's Sports Medicine Walk-In Clinics. Open from 7:30 to 9 o'clock a.m. Monday through Saturday, 830 West High Street in Lima. First place from scrimmage, we will, after that is complete, we'll check those starters for you. The quarterback is Scott McCormick. He's thrown for over 1,300 yards this year. Zach Weber, player of the year in the district, over 1,800 yards rushing. Quick pass on that right side is going to be caught, and then a stick there as receiving the football was number 29, Aaron Becker. The quarterback, McCormick. Fullback is Adam Miller. Zach Weber's the tailback. Center, Offensive lineman of the year, 51, Phil Gunder. The guards, Scott Miller and Nick Yeager. Tackles are Kyle Minning and Andy Becker. Split end, John Odenweller. Tight end is Ryan Morris. Your wingback is Aaron Becker. Those are your starters in the offense for the Jays. Second down, they need 2. They pitch it to Weber. Weber will fall forward and pick up the first down. Let's check the defense for Catholic Central. Start out first of all with the nose guard, Clint Wells. He's a sophomore. Right tackle, Matt Fitzsimmons. Dan Murphy's the left tackle. Also Andy Wall, one of the ends, as well as Stephen Brandeberry. Linebackers, Brendan Doan. Philip Mormon, the other one. And we'll get the rest of them for you after this next play. 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Out of the I formation, they'll go with the first back through. And he picks up about 4 yards. Check the rest of the defense for the Fighting Irish. Philip Mormon, he is one of the linebackers with Greg Eaglesizer, one of the backers, as well as David Krummenaker, who's just a sophomore. Safety, Dave Durand, I should say, and the other safety is Pat DeWitt. Those are your starters on the defense for the Fighting Irish. Second down, 5. Blue Jays from the 40-yard line go the handoff to Weber, and Weber will go down short of the first down.
Springfield Catholic's lining up in a 5-3 defense, 5 down men with 3 linebackers and a 3 deep secondary. What we've seen so far is St. John's trying to spread them out a little bit, running inside, and looks like there's some cutback seams there for Weber and the boys tonight if they get able to take advantage of that.
Catholic Central's head coach is Steve DeWitt, 129, 90, and 4, his career record. 22 years as it's going to be right at. I thought he picked up the first down before, and he was short on third down. He looks like they're going to mark it right at the 45-yard line, and that's right where the stick is at. So again, it's going to be close. They'll probably call in the sticks for this one. Or they're just going to say it's 4th down.
4th down, I'll tell you, Springfield Catholic has some kids that like to come up and smack you. There's been some hard hits on that first series for St. John's. That time on his cutback, he just wasn't quite deep enough or through the line of scrimmage.
Well, now it's going to be Fisher kicking, punting for the Blue Jays. I should say Martz down to the 22-yard line. They'll let it bounce right there, and now we're going to see their offense as Doug Martz, the senior, gets his foot into it. And we will now check the offense for Springfield Catholic Central. Their quarterback, number 9, senior Pat DeWitt, over 800 yards passing this year, 11 touchdowns. Brendan Doan, their main running back, 1,400 yards, 20 touchdowns, the fullback. The other 2 halfbacks, David Krummenaker and Greg Eaglesizer. We'll check the offensive line and the split end and the tight end after this first play from scrimmage. First down, 10 for the 23-yard line, just underway. No score in this football game. Regional semifinal. They go with the handoff to Brendan Doan. Doesn't pick up a whole lot. Rest of the offensive line. Let's start with the center, Phil Mormon, a senior. Right guard is Stephen Brandeberry. Left one is Matt Fitzsimmons. Tackles, Andy Wall and Dan Murphy. And the ends are Dave Durand and John Day, or possibly in there as well, Jason Fitzsimmons. We'll check the J defense for you after this next play. Second down and 8 from the 25-yard line. Man will go in motion. They try to run, looks like the handoff, and they fumble the football, and Delphos St. John's gets all over it. Turnover against the Fighting Irish. Let's get out to Scott Stiles.
Well, I tell you what, they shot the linebackers play side. He met the quarterback with the exchange. Big turnover for Blue Jays. See if they get something going here offensively. Back to you.
Yeah, too, Scott. The series they ran, the Jays, they got stopped in their first series. They did the same thing against Minster last week.
That's right. Then they reeled off 10 touchdowns in a row.
Look for him to go for the home run quick here. Good field position. Right after a turnover, I think they may go for the TD.
Fighting Irish in the Southwestern Rivers Conference. First and 10 from the 23. Man will go in motion. That's Zach Weber. Pass play, McCormick. He rolls out. Looking downfield, is going to take it himself, and he will go down and lose some big yardage all the way back to the 35-yard line. Looked like some pretty good pass coverage defense back there by the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, good defense, a lot of good pressure. It looked like almost they were trying to set up a screen pass, and he just couldn't get scored away to execute the play.
7 returning starters for the Fighting Irish, 5 on the offense and a couple on the defense, and the number of returning lettermen at 7 as well. 2nd and 21 from the 34. Weber trying to get off right tackle, and he gets it inside the 30-yard line, and that's about it. You know, Mike, this Fighting Irish roster only with under 30 players total as the Jays come in with their big team tonight, over 90.
Yeah, and you know, the amazing thing is they're only going to put 11 out there at a time, and it looks like right now there's 11 good ones out there for the Irish, but playing 9 kids both ways against this depth has got to wear on you.
3rd down and 15. We're at 7.5 minutes remaining, first quarter. Play action again. McCormick looking down the field, has a receiver. It's going to be caught, and Becker still on his feet, keeps on going, cuts it back up. He may go all the way. He will. Touchdown, Delphos St. John's. Aaron Becker, the 5'10", 170-pound junior, makes the score 6-0 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. Let's go down to Scott Stiles.
Well, McCormick did a good job of scrambling away from pressure, and then it was all Aaron Becker. He made the nifty move, got away because the defender had him stopped short of the first down, but it was all Aaron Becker. Got the 6 for the Jays. They're up 6-0.
Not a whole lot of pursuit back there in the secondary to help him out when he started to make the tackle on Becker.
And the extra point now by Michael Bittler. Snaps there, holds there, kick is up, and it is good. So Delphos St. John strikes first. They're on top of the Lone Zone scoreboard, 7-0. Like to congratulate all the players from Delphos St. John's that received all district honors, Northwestern all district high school football team, and of course in Division 6. We see a lot of those players out there right now. When you start getting all these honors, Mike, there's so many players that you could mention. It goes on and on, but we will mention in Division 6, Zach Weber, tailback for the Blue Jays, one of the co-offensive players of the year. Jeff Fisher, defensive player of the year, with a couple of other guys. Also, lineman of the year goes out to Phil Gunder from St. John's as well. And last night, as we mentioned, congratulations goes out to Bill Goodwin's boy, Tim. He was coach of the year. And again, as this game continues, we'll tell you about the other guys on the Blue Jay offense and defense who is named to that team. St. John's ready to kick off now, and already on top, 7-0.
Took advantage of the turnover, which they've been all year, very opportunistic as far as taking advantage. When somebody makes a mistake, they capitalize on it.
Of course, the Jays, the number 1 team in the state of Ohio, won their region as well, have won 40 consecutive high school football games, and looking to move on to the regional finals if they win here today. Kickoff will go all the way down, bounce around the 15-yard line, still knocked around, and that's going to be it. Trying to return the football was number 45, Greg Ebelsizer, but he went nowhere, so long way to go for the Fighting Irish. You know, we mentioned this last night, Mike, but the Jays could get a little revenge here because Springfield Catholic beat them in the state semifinals in basketball back in March of '95 when they had big 7-foot left-hander Jason Collier, who went on to play at Indiana and Georgia Tech. So I don't know whether those guys are thinking about something like that, but I'm pretty sure it's been knocked around a little bit.
You know, Springfield Catholic's not new to the football playoffs. They've been there 4 times, 4 different years, including this one. And they were runner-up in the state in 1991, and they've actually played on this same Bath field back, I'm not sure what year it was, but they played Liberty Center in a rainstorm. So,
of course, the Blue Jays, state champs last year and the year before that, semifinalist in 1994, and of course again this year.
The Springfield side is kind of filled up here as we got into game time. It looked like there wasn't going to be much support over there, but there's a load over there now, a lot of people.
2nd down 9 from the 15-yard line. Hand off, and again, the Jays defense not letting anything happen coming from that backfield. The quarterback is Pat DeWitt. He is a senior, over 800 yards passing this year. Their main man is Brendan Doan. 20 touchdowns this year, and then they got a couple other backs in there that have over 300 yards. Greg Ebelsizer with almost 420 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors making it possible that we are here tonight from Bath Stadium. We'll mention those sponsors as this game goes along. 3rd down and 10 now for this offense for the Fighting Irish. Approaching the 6-minute mark, 7-zip Jays. Man in motion. DeWitt back to pass, looking down that right sideline, and knocking it down is going to be Hershey, and then picking it off. He's at the 45-yard line, and it looks like we got a flag back there. It's going to bring this one back as Hershey continues to go, but they're going to bring this one back. Let's go down to Scott Stiles.
Yeah, they're going to call it a clip. I'm going to tell you something right now. That wasn't a clip. His head was in front of the body. The Jays are going to lose some yardage here, but what an interception.
Yep, give that interception again to number 12 for Delphos St. John's. That is Craig Hershey, just a junior. And he made that one look easy.
That was a great play. A lot of range when he went after that ball. It didn't look like he was going to get to it, and pulled it right off.
I'd like to thank our good friends from the Carriage Inn in Delphos. Of course, Craig and Sandy, they brought us up some taco salad wraps. Got some wings back there. Had some wings back there. Anything else back here, Scott?
I'm not going to tell you.
All kinds of good stuff. I'd also like to thank Tammy and Red Newmeyer. Got some brats up here and some apple pie. I'd like to thank the Bath Music Association and Athletic Director Larry Cole. We got some chicken sandwiches and hot dogs and chips and they're going too. But you're eating good tonight, Mike.
I got up here after you, Carl, and it's all gone.
I want to get some apple pie. I haven't had any of that yet. 1st down and 10 for the 41. They go the handoff straight up the gut to Miller. Miller to the outside, and he'll go down after a big pickup all the way down to the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 Jays.
Simple play right up the middle. When you got the 5-3 defense, you've got the nose guard and the middle linebacker, and if they're able to get those two blocked, there's usually some yardage there.
I'd like to thank Unverforth Manufacturing west of Kalida, State Route 224, Wright State University Lake Campus in Salina, and Knievel & Sons Plumbing and Heating. Your comfort is our concern. Just some of the great sponsors we have here on Fox as a timeout is called on the field. Mike, let's bring up, of course, you're a member of the Northwest District Board, and you know this computer playoff stuff, a lot of things going back and forth, whether they should expand the playoffs or not. You look at the seeds now 1 through 8, and you've been kind of tabulating and seeing how some of those lower seeds have been doing throughout the playoffs, and how's it been looking?
Well, last week in round 1, of course, we had 19 7 and 8 seeds, 19 teams that were seeded either 7 or 8 win, and had 59 in the top 4 seeds, 1 to 4 win, and let's see, that would be 37 in the bottom 4 won. As far as we'll take a look at what happened last night in the seeds here in a second.
1st down and 10 from the 41-yard line. Delphos St. John's with the football. We have to check the Blue Jay defense yet here in this ball game. We haven't done that yet. Hand off and continuing, moving on for the Jays all the way down to the 15-yard line. This time, carry the football was number 27. And that is Jordan Bowers. We see him in there a lot. He is just a junior, picking up some good yardage for the Jays. Let's go down to Scott Stiles on the sideline.
Carl, I think the mistake by Springfield was stopping them on 3 and out, because I tell you what, they're on a mission now. The line came off and they were ticked off, and they made a couple adjustments because I think the quickness was messing them up on the offensive line, but now they're dominating again. Back to you.
1st and 10 for the 15-yard line. They go this time to Zach, and he will cut it to the right. This is Jordan Bowers, and Bowers gets the touchdown for Delphos St. John's. Bowers they will use from 15 yards out. Touchdown Blue Jays. It's 13-0 to the 5:11 mark here of our first quarter. Let's go down to Scott one more time.
Well, apparently they've seen some film of their option, because that's what they're keying on. They're keying on McCormick and Zinger right now, and they're leaving Jordan Bowers go, and that's the first part of the option they're being successful with, just the base give, and they're blowing big holes right off guard and tackle, and it's getting them lots of yardage for the score.
Michael Bittler came in 56 of 64 at extra points this year. He's already got 1 tonight, and now he has 2. It is now 14-0 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. Delphos St. John's on top, and Mike, if St. John's wins tonight, they will advance to play either Cincinnati Country Day or Ansonia. Now, as you look at this, Ansonia, one of those teams out of the top 4 are the original ones that would have made the playoffs. How's it look from last night?
Ansonia was number 6, Carl,
right.
And Country Day was number 2.
Right, so I'm saying that not
right,
the top
they would
4
be out
of the original.
from last. Right, okay. And last night, looking in Division 2, there was number 7 that won. Of course, the winners being Cuyahoga Falls Walsh Jesuit, Akron Buchtel, Wadsworth, Sylvania Southview, Uniontown Lake, Olentangy, Lebanon, and Trenton Edward in Division 2. In Division 3, there was also one number 7 that won, and the other winners were Copley, Orville, Bishop Watterson from Columbus, Bellefontaine, of course, the winner over Bath High School, 35-28. Poland Seminary, Steubenville, the Big Red, Gallipolis, Gallia Academy, and Dayton Chaminade Julienne.
So not such a bad idea to expand the playoffs, I guess, what you're saying.
No, there's some people that are making, and that's there are a couple 5s, and as we get into lower divisions, it's really evident of the lower seeds.
Mark's ready to put his foot into it, and he does, and he kicks a deep one all the way down to the 12-yard line, taken right there by Evil Sizer, and he is stuck at the 22-yard line. And now the Fighting Irish are going to have to bring their offense back out. Gives us a chance now to check that Jays defense. Defensive line is Cap Card, one end. Rocky Klaus at the other. Tackles Kyle Jackson and Matt Schwinnen. The backers are Doug Martz, Keith Recker, and Sean Ardner. Grotehouse, Hain, and also Fisher back there, as well as Craig Hershey. And those are your defensive players for the Delphos St. John Blue Jays. First and 10 from the 23-yard line. They will go with the handoff, first back through, and not a lot there. Going to set up the second down. We'll tell you that our starting lineups have been brought to you by by St. Rita's Sports Medicine Walk-In Clinics. Open from 7:30 to 9 o'clock a.m. Monday through Saturday, 830 West High Street in Lima. Second down, 7. Ball resting at the 26-yard line. 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in this first quarter of play. And the quarterback is Pat DeWitt. DeWitt goes to the handoff. I tell you, Coach, those defensive players for St. John's are getting there so fast, I don't even get a chance to pick up the number of the guy running the ball.
Yeah, they're really getting off control on the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. Springfield Catholic is lined up in an unbalanced wing T type of look with the double wings, bringing one back, but really haven't been able to establish anything. They haven't tried to go outside. They've only put the ball up one time, and I think that was intercepted, and really aren't showing a whole lot. Now they're spreading the field.
Third down and 7 situation. 14-0. Delphos St. John's. It's an option pitch, and going down this time is Greg Evilsizer, the left halfback, and that's going to do it for this series again for the Fighting Irish. You know, we'd like to congratulate Tim Beckman and his St. Henry Redskins on knocking off Parkway today at Salina Stadium. That was a 1 o'clock start. They now will advance to take on the winner of tonight's game between Sidney Lehman and West Alexandria Twin Valley.
That was last night's game, and
that's right.
Twin Valley South won that.
So it's going to be St. Henry up against Twin Valley South. That's right, because St. Henry was supposed to play last night, but their volleyball team had a chance to play at state. Returning it now all the way to the 45-yard line, down to the 35-yard line, and continuing to go is Jeff Fisher, and he could go all the way, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Hands go up.
They got another flag back here.
I wonder why everybody's so relaxed. Didn't see the laundry down there, but Fisher kind of galloped into the end zone, but it looks like they're going to bring this one back. Let's go down to Scott Stiles.
Fellas, I think we're going to get called back for a legal block in the back. I think that's what it is. But I tell you what, that would have been like the third touchdown that we've seen this year. Fisher run back. He's an excellent returner on special teams. Reads his blocks well.
Well, Mike, you had a chance to see Hopewell Loudon take on St. Henry in the big match last night at the Nutter Center.
I tell you, it was great. 2 Northwest Ohio schools represented there. Actually, Greenwich South Central won the first semifinal game, and that was a Northwest Ohio school also. So being a district board member from there, we were pretty proud when we were watching a Division IV play. And it was just a great game. Both teams were undefeated. Hopewell Loudon, defending state champs, prevailed in 2 games over the Redskins. But a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of fans down there. It was great to watch.
Jays with the football. This time Weber will get it. He cuts it back up and finally is going to be brought down by number 67, Steve Brandeberry, 6'1", 185-pound junior. Let's check these lines for both teams. Delphos St. John's, Gunder at 250. The two guards, Yeager, 196, Miller, 216, Becker at 218, and Kyle Minnie at 204. When we move over to the defense for the Fighting Irish, we'll check those for you here in a second. Second down, they need 1 yard to pick up the first. Ball at the 46-yard line. Zach Weber goes in motion this time. They get the fullback back blocking, and down the field, McCormick has a receiver, and it's going to be incomplete. And down there, Zach Weber trying to catch up to the football.
Yeah, you got a second and short situation. It's a good time to go for the long ball, because you know you've got another down to come back and to pick up that first down.
Defensive players for the Fighting Irish, 210 for Clint Wells. Fitzsimmons checks in at 192. Dan Murphy is at 240 pounds. Andy Wall checks in at 185 pounds. Third down situation, they hand the football off, and Weber's going to pick up the first down. Let's check the rest of the guys here. Should say Andy Wall was at 190. Then Stephen Brandeberry checks in at 185 pounds. So not a small line, not a real big defensive line.
They look pretty athletic, pretty strong.
First down and 10 from the 41. Marion Local playing Pandora Gilboa tonight from Walpock. 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Weber with a pitch, cuts it back up the middle and picks up a couple of more yards. What else is going on? Liberty Center knocked off Columbus Grove last night.
Yeah, you had in Division 5, 5 out of the 8 winners, Carl, were lower seed teams.
Also going on tonight, Mike, we've got Coldwater at Bell Fountain against Marion Elgin, and we've got Kenton up against Oak Harbor at Fostoria. We could see ourselves a MAC versus WBL championship for Region 14. And if it's anything like last year, it could be a repeat.
Yeah.
Second out 7, we're down to minute 25, first quarter, 14-0 Jays. I formation. McCormick goes with the option, pitches it back to Weber. Weber turns the corner, and he will be close to another Jay first down.
You know, even though they've been, as Scott said, gearing up towards the option, that time they ran the pitch off the option, and Weber's speed was just too much for him to contain.
So it's going to be a first down and 10 for Delphos St. John's as we approach the 1 minute mark.
Looking at the rest of that Division 5 from last night, Carl, Bedford Chanel, we're the Sullivan Black River. Sycamore Mohawk beat the Smithville Smithies, the team that beat Jefferson Wildcats a week ago. Liberty Center, of course, beat Columbus Grove, Amanda Clear Creek, Liberty Union, St. Henry, and out South Central.
Catch is going to be made and brought down inside the 15-yard line. Ryan Morris, the tight end, who came in with 19 catches, 396 yards, and 5 touchdowns. McCormick, 68 of 130 for 1,321 yards, 19 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions this year. The other receivers, split end John Odenweller, 25 catches, 473 yards, and 10 touchdowns on the season. Becker, a couple of touchdowns, 8 receptions, 117 yards. Coming into this contest. First down and 10 from the 12-yard line. Play action, McCormick looks into the end zone, and it's going to be caught at about the 2-yard line. And Jordan Bowers. No, that time it was Becker, I believe, number 29. Like a 7. Aaron Becker, the 5'10", 170-pound senior, with a nice catch, Scott, for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I tell you what, it could have gone to either guy, but I actually think that he was throwing it to Becker, but a great reception. They're going in for another score. I tell you what, Carl, this team, Springfield, cannot get down 21-0 because the way their offense is going, that you can tell they're not used to playing catch-up. With that offense, they're not going to catch up at all. Back to you.
Well, we're down to 25 seconds. Going to run out of the I formation again. McCormick got Miller and Weber, and they go Weber, and he will get into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Jays. Touchdown comes at the 17-second mark of our first quarter of play. Zach Weber with another one. He'll add that to his collection. He came in with 27 touchdowns when this game got underway. And we've seen that all season long, Mike.
Tell you what, from up here, it didn't look like there was a very big hole there, but he sure found it and walked into the end zone.
And so it's going to be Michael Bittler again with another opportunity to tack on another point for the Jays, and he will do so. 21-0 after 11 minutes and 43 seconds of high school football. Let's go down to Scott Stiles.
Domination, Carl, that's all you can say. Just pure domination. The offensive line is just kicking butt on the line of scrimmage. Those big hogs with Gunder and those guys, they're just pushing them right out of the way, manhandling them. And Springfield Catholic, after they scored there, they really started getting down and started to talk to each other and yelling at each other, and that's not a good sign when you're behind 21-0. Back to you.
St. John's first team selections on an all-district team. Center Phil Gunder, Zach Weber, defensive tackle Kyle Jackson, defensive end Rocky Klaus, linebacker Doug Martz, and also Jeff Fisher. Those just first team guys. We'll tell you about some of the other ones. We got second team in there, and we also got the honorable mention. How's all that district voting work, Coach?
Well, that's all done with the media. The nominations come through I think most local newspapers or have representatives of the media that solicit names of people for nominations.
I didn't vote.
From watching. And
Stiles, you vote?
What's that?
Did you get a vote?
On what?
On that district team.
No. I got a thing, but Coons, I think I gave it to Coonsy.
You guys must not be connected.
No. Jay's going to kick off now, and it's going to be taken around the 15-yard line or so. We turned out to the 30. Continues going on, and that is where the Fighting Irish will have a chance to set up with one more play before this first quarter comes to an end.
And I'm sure this is now what they had planned when they came here, as far as they hoped to stay close and see what would happen. You look at St. Henry beating Parkway today, and of course the Twin Valley South that defeated Sidney Lehman Catholic last night. That'll be the matchup next week. Should be a good one.
First and 10 from the 35. We're down to 11 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. Handoff, first back through, picks up a couple, and that's going to do it. We have played one quarter of action here from Bath Stadium. Our score on the Lone Zone scoreboard, Delphos St. John's 21, Springfield Catholic Central 0. Second quarter action coming up next on Fox.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could synchronize traffic to your every movement? If you could do away with all obstacles. Even make trains run on your schedule. It's like that at Shell, where our stations are designed so nothing slows you down. Shell, moving at the speed of life.
Oh, dear.
Betty?
I see you've been in the kids' magic set again, Bob.
I discovered a way to save us money every month. Watch this. And this, voila.
Wow, how'd you do that?
Simple. I called the Loan Zone at 1-800-LOANS-US. Their rates are low and the paperwork's a breeze. We can use a home equity loan to shrink our monthly bills and buy other things like this.
Oh, Bob.
Or this.
I love the Loan Zone.
Call 1-800-LOANS-US for low rates every day. The Loan Zone, member National City Corporation, equal housing lender.
Unverfirth Manufacturing of Kalida and Delphos has been producing quality farm equipment since 1948 and believes in partnering with local schools to provide positive work experiences and career choices. Take Peggy, for instance. She's following in her father's footsteps. John's 25-year career with Unverfirth began with a work-study program. School-to-work programs improve the connection between classrooms and workplaces. Unverfirth Manufacturing, helping to prepare today's students for tomorrow's workforce.
It's morning. Time to rise and shine. And Arby's has delicious French toast, just 99 cents. With powdered sugar and Mrs. Butterworth syrup. It's the best French toast in town. If you're hungry, Arby's has a breakfast for you, and it's so good. At just 99 cents, you might consider getting 2 of them. You'll find a breakfast at Arby's that's just right for you. But the French toast breakfast special at 99 cents is for a limited time only. See you for breakfast at Arby's.
Well, welcome back. Ready for the second quarter. I'd like to thank again our good friends at the Carriage Inn in Delphos, Craig and Sandy. We've eaten a lot of their food so far to start off this football game. The Bath Music Association brought up some sandwiches. I'd like to thank them. Also got some food down here from Tammy and Red Newmeyer, some apple pie and brats. I can't wait till basketball season starts.
Well, Springfield finally made it to the other side of the 50.
Second down and 6. Trying to get out of this one's DeWitt, and he will get smashed. Got him from behind. Big number 69 with a tackle for the Jays. Kyle Jackson, 250 pounds, nailing from the backside.
Yeah, again, number one key was control the line of scrimmage, and it's been definitely just dominated by Delphos St. John's Blue Jays.
Delphos St. John's, coached by Todd Schulte, first-year head coach, and what a team to take over. 11-0 so far, and looking to go all the way to Canton.
Yes. Saturday morning game at 11 o'clock.
That's where we're going. Pitch back to Evilsizer, and he will lose some yardage that time. I see Fisher back there. One of the Jays in there helping out. Jeff Fisher, a senior.
Take a look at Springfield Catholic's offense, and it looks like it's, a lot of deception, or they've tried to do this wide open type thing, a little bit like maybe the Air Force Air option type approach that they've used in the past. But I'll tell you what, when they're being dominated physically like this, it means nothing. They're just getting nothing from it.
Well, it's fourth down. They're going to have to punt. Ball at the 39. Left-footed kick there. It'll be taken at the 37. That's about it. And so the Jays will bring out their offense as the Fighting Irish fans don't have a lot to cheer about right now. Let's go down to Scott Stiles.
Coach Richards.
Yes.
Tell Carl when you punt, you use your foot, not your left hand. That is your left foot.
That's pretty good, Stiles.
We'll work on it. Yeah.
Thanks.
I go down to you for something intelligent to say, and you jump on me.
I thought that was very good.
Actually, Springfield, I don't think they've had a first down yet. That's got to be frustrating for them. But Delphos St. John's defense, too speedy.
Yeah, the penetration they're getting, they don't have time for anything to develop at all.
It's amazing.
First down and 10 with the Jays, 39-yard line, 10:38 remaining, second quarter. McCormick wants to throw, and he goes down. One of the few times the defense has got in there. Big number 51, Clint Wells, 5'8", 210 pounds, just a sophomore. That's what you call one of those fire plugs, Coach.
Yeah, and he kept coming. I mean, the pocket was there for a little while, and good coverage in the secondary, and allowed him to get in and make the sack.
Thanks to Community First Savings and Loan Service, that's first. And United Equity Incorporated in Delphos, Spencerville, and Kossuth, your locally owned farmer cooperative. Some of our great sponsors here on Fox. Hey, we'll go with the handoff to the first back through. This is Miller, some big running room all the way down to the 40, inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Another first down for Delphos St. John's. Adam Miller came in with 61 carries this year for 269 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Looked good on that run as he lumbered down the side of the field.
Yeah, again, nothing fancy, just pretty much coming off the ball and running in the soft spots of this defense. Look at Springfield Catholic's season. They went 8-0 and then lost the last two regular season games to Versailles and to Graham.
Versailles beat them up bad, 48-6. I formation, this time it's Zach Weber, the zinger, gets it across the 35-yard line. How far do you need to go back, Coach? And I know a lot of times you look at some of these media votes and stuff, but you got an all-district team here with Zach Weber, number 37, deservedly so with the number of yards he had, but 5'7", 145 pounds.
Yeah, as far as go back for what, Carl?
Guy his size.
Oh, I see what
size. I thought you knew what I was talking about when I talk about Weber like that. There he goes again. He's going to try to cut it back up. Look at him go. He scoots right through, zings right through, as Scott Stiles would say. And he's all the way down to around the 21-yard line.
The one thing about Zach Weber is the fact that, a great back is one that makes yardage after he's been touched. And even though he's little, he still is able to, because of his moves, his shiftiness, be able to make, pick up positive yardage once he's been hit or somebody gets a good shot at him. Makes people miss.
See, the way we work together would be a lot better. You show up a little bit more often. You need to catch those things. You're always on GOH doing those Bluffton College games, First down and 10 for the 21-yard line. I formation option this time. It's going to be McCormick, and he's not going to go anywhere as he is brought down by Daniel Murphy, the 6'1", 240-pound senior.
When you're facing a triple option, you have to play assignment football, and so anytime you get a team that's in a little bit of disarray, like Scott was mentioning, and you have a little lack of discipline, that's going to open things up for the option. Scott watching this game?
Scott's down there doing something. I don't know. Yeah, he's on the sideline. He's watching the helicopter going overhead again. Here goes McCormick. Wants to throw. Looking into the end zone. In trouble this time. He sprints to the outside. Throws it. It's going to be caught at the 10. And this time it's going to be caught by number 24, and that is John Odenweller, the senior.
Now, John did a real nice job adjusting his route. As McCormick rolled out, he was covered. Looked like he was going to get sacked. He bought himself some more time. John Odenweller adjusted his route, came back out of the end zone, made the catch. And you know what? He was coming back towards the football, and that makes it awful hard to defend.
We saw a good receiver last night for Bath. Greg Wolf had himself a nice football game. Bath, unfortunately, did not win their contest against Bellefontaine, but it was a heck of a ball game. 35-28 on Fox. First and 10 from the 10. They can pick up a first down without scoring here. As McCormick will fake the pitch, go into the end zone. Touchdown Blue Jays. One more time, this time number 11. The touchdown for John Odenweller comes at the 7:37 mark of our second quarter. 27-0 Jays. Scott Stiles.
It's like taking candy away from a baby, boys. Tell you what, he threw a little shoulder fake, and that kid bit towards the cone. He just hit the hard slant, and McCormick put it right on the numbers.
Scott McCormick's backfield action was great, too. They faked the hard toss to Weber, and that got the linebacker to run out of there, and he come back to the other side and opens up a lane for that slant pattern.
Michael Bittler with another opportunity for the extra point. And he puts it up into the uprights. Good again. So now it's 28-0. Delphos St. John's on top as the machine continues to roll here from Bath Stadium. What more can we say, Coach? 28 points already, and we still have 7.5 minutes remaining here in this second quarter. You got a lot of material.
We got a lot of material. We'll get going here.
How about Bluffton College? They lose today?
Yes, they did. Lost a tough one. I believe it was 31-28 to Wilmington, and I believe Wilmington had one loss going into today's game, and Bluffton had two, and it was a great game. Both of them were ranked in the nation going in.
Of course, Mike Richards here, a former football coach. I got your record and everything back. I got to try to remember all those teams you coached for. Let me see. Riverdale was one of them. Riverside was one. Columbus Grove, Bluffton Perry, and of course we mentioned Bluffton College because the last couple of years prior to this year, 2 years ago, you were a coach at Bluffton College, and I tell you, Carlin Carpenter's seeing a great year this year, even though they lost today.
Yep, ended up 7-3. Nice year, and
are they in the playoffs?
No, they're not. Probably not. They haven't made the decision yet, but probably not. The Heartland Conference gets an automatic bid, so I think Hanover's going to be the representative there, and of course you got Mount Union, and probably Ohio Northern's going to make it in. I think they won today.
And we'd like to say congratulations to Jim Getz's boy, Player of the Week.
Yeah, a week ago in their game against Franklin, he was Player of the Week.
Jim Getz, one of the administrators over at Allen East Elementary in the Allen East School District.
Sean, a graduate here of Bath High School.
Here we go. Jay is going to kick off one more time. It's going to go in the end zone. This time it's going to be Martz, who's not even going to allow them to return it. Things can't get much worse, can they? Give us a chance to at least get the football to run, they're thinking. Well, you look at some of the teams, Coach, and I'm not real familiar with the Southwestern Rivers Conference, but we mentioned some of the teams in there. And you look at some of the scores. They beat Northwestern 57-12, Springfield Shawnee 35-14, Kenton Ridge 35-14, Miami East 41-14, Milton Union 29-17. Then they played Sidney Lehman and won 21-14. We'll run down the rest of these scores here in a second after this next play by DeWitt. First First down and 10 from the 20, and they go with the handoff and pick up of a couple of yards. Benjamin Logan, they beat 21-14. They're getting a pattern here. It's like an average of giving up 14 points a game. Tippecanoe, 19-14. But then they took on one of the top teams, Division 5, Versailles, and lost 48-6. I've heard of St. Paris Graham. Don't know a whole lot about them. They lost that game 21-18. And then they jumped back and played a BVC team, Hardin Northern. And high-scoring game, they won 42-26.
I believe this is a league that's dissolving, and I think that that's why some of the teams are making some changes and going into a different league. I know that Versailles is now going to be going into the MAC conference, and Sidney Lehman was also looking for a conference to go to.
Why don't you give us an update, too, while we have time, about what's going on with the couple of teams in the Northwest Conference, because there's still some things up in the air there.
All I can help you out with is what I've read in the paper, and things are still a little up in the air. I don't think Perry has made a decision yet. Won't till this upcoming week, but there's a chance that both Upper Soda Valley and Perry High School will be leaving the Northwest Conference to go to a new league being formed by some of the teams from the West Central Ohio Conference and some other teams that have been independent.
And of course, Versailles going to the MAC, as you mentioned as well. So a little bit of a shake-up from around the area. DeWitt wants to throw a little screen play. It's going to be caught, and a pickup of about 5 or 6 more yards, and it looks like the first down of the ball game. John Day, the 6-foot junior, able to do that, Scott, and things picking up for the Fighting Irish.
That was a great call by the Springfield Irish. They knew Delphos has been coming hard on third down situations, and Delphos did. They brought the whole group. And sorry.
Oh, what?
I heard Richard talking so long, I'm starting to stumble like he is. But anyways, first down, gets the crowd excited on that side. Maybe they get something going here with 5:40 left to go in the first half.
They were shotgun that time, weren't they?
They sure were.
So now it's going to be a 1st and 10. They go with the pitch, halfback pass, looking down that right sideline. Hershey's back there, and he will catch it and intercept it one more time. They threw that one a little bit too high. It gave Craig Hershey a chance to come back and wait on it, and he brought it down. Second interception of the ball game for Hershey.
He was really beat by the receiver, and they threw that ball up into the wind, and I think that's hung it up a little bit. What do you think, Scott?
Carl, you got to turn me on here.
Well, I didn't know he said, how you doing? I gotta turn him up. What are you doing down there anyway?
Me and Coons here talking about what we're going to talk about the second half. Crumbinaker had the guy burnt, the Blue Jays burnt, but like Coach Richard said, for once he was right. Threw it up too much in that wind, and the ball settled down.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Take a nap. 1st and 10 now from the 40-yard line. Pitch back to Weber. Weber cuts it back up the middle, and he's knocked around like a bowling pin. And he goes down around the 41-yard line and pick up of a couple of yards.
He's coming so close to getting back into that cutback seam, and when he does, it's going to be a big play and probably 6.
Let's check the interception list for the Delphos St. John Blue Jays, because we talked about that last week with Grodehouse having one. 6 for Grodehouse, Fisher with 5. Hershey now, coach, we can give him 2 more. He has tied Randy Grodehouse for team lead with 6. McCormick back to throw, looking downfield, pumps once, goes short, Morris, and he goes down at the 44-yard line, but another first down for Delphos St. John's. Well, Delphos St. John's comes in with a couple of state championships. They are on our list of 2 state titles as they're looking for their 3rd straight. Let's try him out, Style. See how good Richards is here, because Scott got this last night with the help of
Leonard Rush.
Well, actually, Leonard Rush got it with Scott standing beside him.
I had to help Leonard out 2 out of 3 of them.
We'll see how he does here on this next play. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line for Delphos St. John's. Out of the I formation, McCormick goes with the pitch, then he gives it to Weber. Weber is going to cut it back, and he slips, so he may have went all the way. Zach Weber showing his stuff again as he picks up another first down. Coach, there are 3 football teams that have won 7 straight championships.
Okay.
Can you name those 3?
Through playoffs or
no
media?
No. We're talking about like state championship, like we do here. You know?
Well, Newark Catholic would be 1.
That's 1.
Okay. St. Ignatius?
Cleveland St. Ignatius would be 2.
And the 3rd one, give me a second.
I really only get 10 seconds total. 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Again, Blue Jays, I formation, option play. McCormick keeps it, picks up 8, picks up 10, pitches it back to Bowers, I should say, and he goes down inside the 10-yard line. Nice-looking job there by the Blue Jays as they take it all the way down within striking distance one more time.
That's perfection on the option right there, guys. There's no defensive end to pitch off of, so the quarterback, your rule is do not pitch off the end if nobody's there. Take it to the next level, which is the cornerback. And that's what he did. He pitched it off the corner. Bowers was off to the races.
Have you figured out that third team yet before they score a touchdown?
Not yet. Could be Mogador, could be Versailles. Okay.
Yeah, and Zach Weber's down on the sideline. We're going to have to check him out. Possibility he may be hurt after that one last play. They hand the ball off, and this is Bowers. Continues on, and he's inside the 5-yard line, so it's going to be a second down.
When Zach got up after that last cut, looked like he had a sore shoulder or elbow or something.
I'm sure Scott will be down there to check him out. Scott not wearing his Zinger hat tonight, which was presented to him specifically by Zach Weber earlier this season at the Coldwater game. We thought he might don that tonight. I think Scott's waiting on the hat from Red Newmeyer giving you that hat, Scott?
Yeah, he is. He said if they make it to state, he has a hat ready to go for me that he got somewhere in Mexico or something like that.
Tijuana.
That tells you right there.
Pitch back, Bowers, touchdown, Blue Jays. Another touchdown for Delphos St. John's, and give it again to Jordan Bowers. He makes the score. Lone Zone scoreboard, 34-0. Let's go down to Scott, who's standing down there by Zach Weber.
They're looking, it's his elbow, right elbow is what it is, Carl, and I think what it is a funny bone situation. They're trying to work the numbness out right now. They're moving it up and down and making sure there's no ligament damage in the elbow. Well, what happened was he was hit, and it's like a hyperextension type deal, so we'll get more back to you when I find out something.
Bittler down there to kick the extra point, and he knocks it through. That's Dr. Sniggerbush down there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Helping out with another one of the assistants on the Blue Jays, a radiologist, I understand, helping the Blue Jay football team out. So Delphos St. John's up 35-0. And we still have 2 minutes and 46 seconds remaining here in this second quarter. You've been doing a lot of research over there, Coach. What are you reading?
I don't have an answer for you. The third team. Who was it?
You still looking for that? I thought you were doing some...
Well, you haven't given me the answer.
I thought you were reading Old Yeller or something like that up here.
Cincinnati Moeller.
No, what? Scott, you help him. Scott Brinkman had to help him out with the third team. At least he didn't have to ask all three teams like you did. And so Delphos St. John, by the way, I want to thank some more of my sponsors. CR Golf, good old Roger Gospin in Delphos, the Commercial Bank, locations in Delphos, Elida, Gomer, and Lima. And also Tom All, family of automotive dealerships, where you'll always find knock your socks off deals. Some of our great sponsors here on Fox. Now, no teams have won 6, but there was a team that won 5. Can you figure out the team that won 5? Has won 5? Only one. No. St. Henry has only won 4, as all of us football aficionados would know.
Okay.
They also won the championship in '98. Blue Jays ready to kick off. Marks gets his foot into it again. Last time they didn't get a chance to return it, and they won't again. Nope. Yep, now he did go into the end zone, so they're going to bring it back out to the 20-yard line. It's going to be first down and 10 for the Fighting Irish. Let's go down to Scott Stiles.
Fellas, it is a hyperextension of the right elbow, and I would be surprised if he comes back in the football game tonight. They got it on ice, and there's no reason for him to come back in the football game.
He had an elbow pad on that to start with, didn't he, Scott?
Yes, he did, but the hyperextension is when he landed on Mike. It bent the wrong way, so the elbow pad wasn't going to prevent that. So it wasn't from a helmet or anything. It was when he landed on the ground. He just kind of braced himself from hitting the ground and hyperextended it that way.
Thank you very much, Scott. First and 10 for the 20-yard line for the Fighting Irish. They go with the fake handoff. Now the quarterback keeps it and goes all the way out to close to another first down. DeWitt, the quarterback. Sean Ardner with the tackle for the Blue Jays. So it sets up a second down situation. They're still going to need about 1 yard to pick up the first down. Thanks for tuning in to Fox. We're here. This is Division 6, Region 24. Delphos St. John's, the winner of that region, the number 1 seed, going to be taking on either Cincinnati Country Day or Ansonia. Ansonia's 8-3, Country Day 11-0. Quarterback hands the football off, and let's see who got it this time. It's going to be Doan, the ball carrier, and he doesn't go very far. This time continuing to tick away here in this second quarter of play. Brendan Doan, 6'1", 199 pounds. He's a senior.
1,400 yards going into tonight's game.
Yep.
At this point, they have 2 first downs.
Yep. Shut them down, as the Blue Jay defense usually does. As you look at that record of the Jays, their first 6 games, they had shutouts. And only gave 2 touchdowns up in the next 2 weeks after that. 1st and 10 for the 31-yard line. Play action. Keeper by the quarterback, and don't know if he was going to pass or run, but didn't matter. He lost about 4 to 5 yards. For the Delphos St. John Blue Jays this year, their closest ball game was to Marion Local and then Coldwater. Marion Local was a 17-point win, 24-7. They beat Coldwater with a score of 35-14. Besides that, didn't get much closer. Now, what could happen, Mike, which, I'm sure the Marion Local fans would love to see, is a game between the Blue Jays and the Flyers.
Now, when you look at the geographical, the way that the split up for the regions, you're going to have to think that the matchup would come in the regional or the state semifinals.
Hand off this time to Doan. Doan continues on, gets hit, and goes down after a pickup of about 5 yards. Probably see one more play out of this Fighting Irish team before this first half comes to an end. We'll check the keys to the game and maybe some halftime stats here in just a couple minutes. Also, when this game is over, Mike and I and Scott Stiles will go on the field and talk to our player of the game for this regional semifinal game. Down to 20 seconds. Taking their time, getting to the line of scrimmage. Down to 10 seconds. Quarterback Pat DeWitt with a man in motion. That's Evil Sizer. They pass it over his way. It's going to be caught and nothing more happening. Time expires, second quarter. We have played 2. Score from Bath Stadium. Delphos St. John's on top of the Fighting Irish of Springfield Catholic Central. 35-0. Let's go down to Scott Stiles on the sideline.
Well, another game so far of pure domination by your football team in all aspects. You're hitting on all cylinders tonight.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what we expected, what we practiced all week. And, these kids are very smart kids. When they do that, we're going to hurt them. So.
Going in this game, you knew they had 9 guys going both ways. Is your thing going in tonight to attack, try to wear them down?
Yeah, and that's something we emphasize all week, especially here before the game. We want to just, if we're going to run the ball, let's just keep beating them. And, you can see there in the middle of the second quarter, they were all bending over. So, yeah, we're doing a great job. We're doing exactly what we want to do.
Your defense is just flying to the football. I don't think they've seen the quickness by any team this year, and that's totally frustrating them as well offensively.
Speed kills, and that's one thing that's been a plus for our defense all the time. We've always got 8-9 guys going to the ball or getting close to the ball, and that's tough to stop.
All right, good job.
Thank you.
Scott Stiles, thank you very much. Halftime, 35-0. We'll take this time out. We'll be back with more right after these.
Interrupted sleep isn't just an annoyance. It's a health concern. The first thing we do at St. Rita's Sleep Lab is find out what's causing the problem. As the only accredited sleep lab in the region, we have the ability to diagnose breathing disorders that disrupt sleep and can affect health, relationships, and work. We can't promise you'll sleep like a baby, but we can develop an effective treatment plan that will make a real difference in your life.
For more information about St. Rita's Sleep Lab, call us.
The soybean is considered one of the world's most efficient and affordable sources of food and food protein. Central Soya Company in Delphos is one of our nation's leading manufacturers of oilseed products. A vast array of products are derived from this oilseed, such as baby food, cookies, non-stick cooking spray, soup, breakfast mix, and more. We take pride in our role as a corporate citizen and look forward to future community service. Central Soya Company, serving our customers, our community, and our employees.
Hi, I'm Tom Owen. I may have famous feet, but I'm even more famous for my wild year-end clearance sale. And it's here, your opportunity to pick from over 600 late model used factory vehicles at thousands under book value, like 99 Neos or 98 Cavaliers, just $94.99. We've got 99 Intrepid, Olds, Intrigues, or Buick Centuries for as low as $12,995, or 98 Grand Caravans, 99 Gallants, Bonnevilles, and Delphos for just $13,999. With no payments till February 2000. So be smart. Get the best guys of the year now at Tom Hall's, where the deals are so good, they'll knock your socks off.
According to the Center for Disease Control, every 40 seconds someone seeks medical attention because of a dog bite. 60% of all dog bites involve children, and half of all children in this country suffer dog bites before they're 12 years old. I'm attorney Doug Mann from the law firm of Dyer, Groffalo, Mann & Schultz. Ohio law requires the owner or keeper of a dog to pay cash for injuries caused by their dog, including money for bites, scars, medical bills, and your pain and suffering. If you or anyone in your family have been injured by a dog, let our team fight for you. We know the law.
Think hard. Can you remember it? Can?
Welcome back to Bath Stadium. We are at the half. Our score 35-0 in favor of the Delphos St. John Blue Jays over the Fighting Irish of Springfield Catholic Central. Time now to check out our halftime show, brought to you by our good friends at Van Dyne Karate of Delphos. Uniforms that work. Well, Mike Richards checking out some of the stats for you. We will tell you this has been all Delphos St. John since the get-go in the first quarter. And Delphos St. John's continuing to roll right now. And again, as I mentioned, if the Blue Jays go on to win this contest, they would take on the winner of Cincinnati Country Day, the number 2 seed, or the number 6 seed, Ansonia. And their game is being played tonight as well. So you folks watching this football game already know by now who that particular team is. So again, if everything goes the way it looks like it's going to go right now, we will be back again next Saturday night to watch the Delphos St. John Blue Jays in action. That would be the regional finals. Sites, again, picked will be neutral sites. And the teams from the 1-8-4-5 bracket, which would be the Delphos St. John Blue Jays, would be the home team. The visitors would be whoever the Blue Jays end up playing. Let's now go to Mike Richards, who has some first half numbers for us. Mike?
Yeah, halftime was, first half was complete domination. Total yardage, 286 yards for the Delphos St. John's Blue Jays, 189 yards rushing, 97 yards passing. For Springfield Catholic, they have 24 yards rushing, 10 passing. First downs, 14 for the Jays, 2 for Springfield Catholic Irish. As far as the leading rusher for the Blue Jays, Zach Weber, 13 carries for 77 yards. Bowers has 5 carries for 74. Miller, 3 carries for 51. And Scott McCormick passing 7 of 8 for the 97 yards.
Thank you, Mike. Going to take this 30-second timeout. We'll be back with more right after this.
We're proud to be ranked #1 in the uniform industry. But more importantly, we've been voted #1 for 2 years right here in West Central Ohio. Let our dedicated staff make your business look like a winner with our smart and professional uniforms. Your business will look like a winner with professional uniforms delivered right to your door. Our customized entry mats will make a great first impression with all your customers. Keep your employees and your business looking sharp with Van Dyne Karate.
Welcome back, and now Mike Richards will recap those keys. How's things turning out here, Coach?
Well, I'll tell you what, when you're talking about 286 total yards, 189 yards rushing, as opposed to 24 yards rushing, the control of the line of scrimmage definitely goes to the Blue Jays. We talked about the idea of no big plays, and really there haven't been any big plays, a couple turnovers, and of course the Delphos St. John's Blue Jays being very opportunistic in those times. I believe Springfield Catholic is only crossed midfield. I don't think they've crossed midfield yet with their 2 first downs, and we talked about that they needed to get a good start. The Jays got the good start, and of course with a 35-0 halftime lead, it's a lead that's going to be very, very tough to even for Springfield Catholic to be competitive in the second half.
Okay. Rick Miller from WDOH cutting us some of that pie from Tammy Newmeyer. Apple pie this week. You know, last week we said they told us it was apple, or a couple of weeks ago, whenever that was, and it ended up being peach pie. You have to try some of that pie. I'd like to thank Red and Tammy, and also like to thank Craig and Sandy from the Carriage Inn for all the tacos and such, and also Larry Cole. You know, Larry told us he's going to take care of us tonight. He brought up some sandwiches, hot dogs, chips, kept our pop and water supply all filled up during the night. I haven't eaten this good since last week.
I was going to say, at least 2 weeks ago.
Did you try some of that pie?
Not yet.
Halftime score, 35-zip in favor of the Delphos St. John Blue Jays over the Fighting Irish of Springfield Catholic Central. Halftime show brought to you by our good friends at Van Dyne Crowdy of Delphos. Uniforms that work. Let's take another timeout. We'll come back with third quarter action right after this.
Unverferth Manufacturing of Kalida and Delphos has been producing quality farm equipment since 1948 and believes in partnering with local schools to provide positive work experiences and career choices. Take Peggy, for instance. She's following in her father's footsteps. John's 25-year career with Unverferth began with a work-study program. School-to-work programs improve the connection between classrooms and workplaces. Unverferth Manufacturing, helping to prepare today's students for tomorrow's workforce.
Ever heard of drive-in claim service? No? Well, who's your insurance agent?
Your local Allstate agents are Jim and Karen Dickman on Elida Road in Delphos. Call them at 692-2236.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
WOHL, Limas Fox Station, in cooperation with the Ohio High School Athletic Association, is proud to present tonight's playoff game. A promotional fee has been paid to the OHSAA for the broadcast rights of this game. Without the support of the following businesses, this game would not have been possible. Reliable Plumbing and Heating. Call Reliable Plumbing and Heating for 24-hour emergency service at 695-2921. Reliable for all your plumbing and heating needs. Delpha, Chevrolet, Buick, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile. Delpha, your hometown dealer serving the Delphos and surrounding communities since 1946. United Equity Incorporated in Delphos, Spencerville, and Kossuth, your locally owned farmers cooperative. Delphos Food Locker, now offering a variety of meats, cheeses, appetizers, and soups. A proud sponsor of local high school sports. Stop by today. Community First Bank and Trust is now offering 6.0 annual percentage yield CDs for 9 months with a minimum deposit of $500. Limited time offer which may be changed at any time. APY accurate as of announcement date for personal deposits of less than $100,000. Interest penalty for early withdrawal. WOHL Limas Fox Station congratulates all student athletes playing in the 1999 football playoffs.
Welcome back to Bath Stadium. We are at the half getting ready for third quarter action. It is 35-0. Delphos St. John's on top. Scott Stiles on the sideline has an update on us for us on Zach Weber.
Well, you know, Zach went down with a little elbow injury, and for precautionary reasons, they're not going to put him back in the second half. They're up 35-0. There's no reason to play the young man, and then they'll evaluate it later on the week, but it doesn't look nothing serious, but he will not be back in the game. The Zinger is out for the night.
Okay, thank you very much, Scott, and we're getting ready to get this one back underway here in the third quarter. I'd like to remind you that Marion Local playing also tonight. You folks out there already know what happened there. They will be taking on the winner, if they would win, or if Pandora Gilboa would win, take on the winner between Tiffin Calvert and Oregon Stritch. And Oregon's playing at Bellevue Athletic Field tonight, and Pandora and Marion Local playing over at Harmon Field in Wapak. So that would give us another Saturday night game. Also, St. Henry is supposed to have been playing on a Friday night last night, so they're still in it as they knocked off Parkway. And as Mike told you before, West Alexandria Twin Valley knocked off Sidney Lehman, so they're back together for the regional championship next Friday night. Columbus Grove knocked off last night by Liberty Center. And the other game tonight, we'll find out what happens. Possibly could be seeing a Coldwater-Kenton matchup. And here we go. Delphos St. John's going to be kicking off to start off quarter number 3, already in command with that lead of 35-0. And again, it's going to be Marks getting the foot into it. It's going to be a short kick taken around the 24-yard line and returned to about the 25. On the return that time was number 9, Pat DeWitt, the quarterback. returning the football.
Well, we'll see what Springfield Catholic, if they made any adjustments, try to do something with their offense to get something going. Like we said, they only had 34 total yards in the first half, 24 rushing.
High school basketball to kick off on Fox, maybe, Friday, December 3rd, New Knoxville at New Bremen. That would be a state championship game for football. Hand off, no keeper, but the quarterback to Whit. And he throws the ball up for grabs, and I think it bounced, didn't it?
Interception.
He catch it?
Nope. Official across the way is calling it incomplete.
I thought it kind of bounced on the ground a little bit first, and so the ball's going to be an incomplete pass. Talking about that, here's the way things will stack up in terms of December 3rd. State finals, Division 5 Canton, Division 3 Massillon, Division 2 Canton. Then on the 4th, state finals, Division 6 Canton, Division 4 Massillon, and Division 1 Canton. Next week, regional finals, Division 2, 3, and 5 on Friday. 1, 4, and 6 on Saturday. Second down, 10. Ball at the 25-yard line. DeWitt with the handoff. And I tell you, this Jay defense coach is just not allowing the Fighting Irish to do anything. And Mike in charge of picking our player of the game. And last week, when the Blue Jays took on Minster, our player of the game came from the offensive side of the ball. And that was Phil Gunder, the center. 6'5", 250-pound senior. We did a pretty good pick because he was named the lineman of the year as well. And I'm told by Scott Brinkman we gave him the shirt and it didn't fit. Player of the game shirt. So if you got to pick somebody, you better pick someone that's going to fit into our
What sizes do we have left?
I think we only have one size fits all. DeWitt back to pass, setting up a screen, and it goes nowhere. So it's going to be a 4th down, and the Fighting Irish, not much fight left in them, Scott Stiles.
Nope. I tell you what, the Blue Jays is doing all the punching, and Springfield's just taking all the blows. I tell you, it's getting ugly out here. This defense is just fired up, and they're coming at them every down.
That play they just ran there was the one play that they ran that they picked up one of their 2 first downs in the first half with.
Well, the Jays going to get the ball back again. And back deep for Delphos St. John's is Jeff Fisher, and also you'll see Hershey back there. Hershey's had himself a nice ball game. He could be a candidate for player of the game as Fisher's going to let it bounce, and he picks it up at the 35, turns it 45, cuts it back 50. Now he's got a track meet down the right sideline, cuts it back up, and what a nice run. Returning it all the way back to the 27-yard line is going to be Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, that was nice when, you had the one that was for a touchdown, I believe, that was called back for a clip, and another nice one comes right back.
I'd like to thank all of our great sponsors here on Fox, making it possible that we are here at Bath Stadium tonight. They include Loan Zone for great loan rates with no hassles, no kidding, at 1-800-LOANS-US. Now we do have some flags down there. What are they doing down there?
Personal foul looks like unsportsmanlike conduct.
I also like to thank Quick Change Oil and Lube at 111 Westwood Drive in Van Wert, Central Soy Company, 234 South Jefferson in Delphos, and I&K Distributing, 1600 Gressel Drive in Delphos. Again, just some of the many sponsors making it possible that we're here tonight to bring you the Jays in this regional semifinal game from Region 24. First down and 10 for the Jays are already at the 13-yard line, knocking on the door with a 35-point lead. Quarterback is Scott McCormick. He'll go to Bowers. Bowers cuts it back up the middle, and he'll go down around the 6-yard line. Another nice run by Jordan.
Little toss that they run that they come off tackle with, and pretty effective, nice yardage.
So they need 3 more yards to pick up the first. Ball's going to be resting at the 7-yard line. Todd Schulte, the head football coach for Delphos St. John's. Champions in the back, finish up number 1 in the state of Ohio. And now in a regional semifinal game. I formation. McCormick goes with the pitch to Bowers. Bowers goes right up the gut, gets it down into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Jays. Touchdown will come at the 9:38 mark of our third quarter. Things getting ugly. 41-0. Let's go down to Scott Stiles.
Well, what's neat about that play is you got a 6'2", 215-pound quarterback that leads the way in blocking on that play. And when you got big people like that, let's see, we got big Phil Gunder down right now, Carl, so we'll get back to you on that situation as well.
Well, that's not good news. You don't want to see the big guy go down. Phil Gunder, 6'5", 250, a senior, one of the leaders, one of the catalysts on this football team for St. John's. And they're going to be checking him out right now. Scott McCormick, quarterback for the Jays, leading them to another touchdown. Scott with a great career for Delphos St. John's. Adam Miller, the fullback. Zach Weber, tailback, out of the football game right now with that hyperextended elbow. Jordan Bowers filling in for him. Again, when this game is over, we'll get out on the field and check out our player of the game, sponsored by the Commercial Bank. Mike in charge of picking the player of the game. Mike, you did the Coldwater game with us, didn't you?
Yes,
St. John's Coldwater. Who were we picking in that game? Was that Martz, I think?
Yes, it was.
Martz got it during the Coldwater game.
Outside linebacker.
We gave it to Gunder against Minster as Gunder gets up off the turf, and he's walking gingerly. Don't tell him I said that, but he's going to shake it off, it looks like. And so the Jays going to line up again now for the extra point. Michael Bittler to do the duties for the Jays with Jeff Fisher holding. Snap coming from Ryan Morse. Snap is there, hold is there, kick is there. Things working to perfection for Delphos St. John's. 42-0 is our score right now. Let's go down to Scott Stiles on the sideline.
We're checking right now what happened, Carl. I think he got it in about the rib section. He was down on the ground. I think he got a kick in the ribs and knocked the wind out of him. I believe that's what happened. I'll double check on that, but that's what they're checking out right now is the rib area. He's got a smile on his face because he looked over at him and I kind of called him a sissy, and I don't think he liked it very well.
I heard you say something to him about cutting down on some of the supper time food or something before the game, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I said, if you weren't so darn big and you cut down them calories, your shirts would fit.
You're going to get knocked out before this year's over by somebody.
Oh, no. A lot of love down here, Carl. A lot of love.
I remember you saying that last year. Remember that? It's all blur. Mike, there's probably some folks going to be interested in getting some tickets for the state championship semis and finals. How do they do that anyway?
Well, they've announced, the State High School Athletic Association announced that people can order all tournament tickets. That'd be for December 3rd and 4th at both Canton and Massillon. 2 games a day at Canton and middle game at Massillon this year by calling the Canton Stark County Convention and Visitors Bureau, and that number is 1-800-533-4302 for further information. And again, that's 1-800-533-4302.
Thanks, Mike. St. John's kicking off again. This one is going to be drilled down to about the 15-yard line, return to the 25, and not much more than that, out to about the 28-yard line. That time, returning the football for Springfield Catholic Central was number 25, David Krummenaker. And let's see what they can do on their offense now. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Things have changed, Mike. I know you're an aficionado and how all the different divisions have worked over the years, and I want to get into that here in a second. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line with 9.5 minutes remaining here in this third quarter. Jays showing blitz, it looked like, and they might have jumped off sides. Back in 1972 through 79, Mike, there were 3 divisions. Did you know that?
Yes.
There were
A, AA, and AAA.
Right. Total schools that qualified back then, 12 out of the total number of schools playing football, which were 715. Well, then that changed. 1980 through 84, it went to 5 divisions, 720 schools, 40 qualifying. 85 through 93, 5 divisions again, and we had 80 schools qualifying, 719 schools. First down and 5 after the penalty, back to pass to Witt. Long ball, the defense there, and a little bit too much underneath that one, so it's going to set up a second down. Then in 1994, things changed again. That's the first year they went to 6 divisions. 96 teams qualifying, 703 schools. And then this year, for the first time, divisions stay the same. It's 6, but now we have 192 schools that qualified for the football tournament out of 709 total schools. So to get here, Coach, is a big deal. But to get as far as the Jays have here, the Fighting Irish, it's even a bigger deal. That's my point.
You're in the regional semifinals right now.
That's my point. That's a lot to tell you, getting to that point. Oh, boy. I think we had some movement this time as Rocky Klaus came booming in. Might have had some movement on the Irish side. So they may go back 5 more yards. Either that or Rocky just got a little excited. Nope, it's going to be procedure against the Fighting Irish. You know, and back in those days, which you remember, I'm sure, between 72 and 79, because you were coaching back then. I was in kindergarten, I think. Back when you were Class A, Double A, and Triple A, it was tough. I mean, you really had to be a good football team to get to a point like this in the season.
Yeah, you know, the rankings have changed and how they made the selections over the years, and but you're right. There's been a lot of times when some very good teams were left at home.
DeWitt back to pass. Now he wants to run. He's going to throw, and it's up for grabs. It's a nice spiral, though, but look who got an interception. Hershey will get his 3rd of the night. We've got him returning it all the way to the 40, but they got a flag back there, and we believe there was a roughing the passer. Let's go down to Scott Stiles.
Carl, I tell you what, like you said, that ball was just thrown up for grabs. He got it up in the air, and Hershey was playing center field, did a great job. I got a little side note from last night's game. Remember Bath got the ball back about a little over 3 minutes left last night? And I was just talking to one of the assistant coaches. They scored. They were going to go for 2 and for the win.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. That would have been neat, huh?
We were talking about that up in the press box, Bill Goodwin and I, and, he didn't say it on the air, but I was going to ask him if it did get to that point, what would you do? I mean, you're going for another win to take you on to the regional finals. You play for a tie, and I think most coaches would play it safe and just tie the thing up.
They felt going into overtime they might not have as much of a chance as if they scored there coming back from a 14-point deficit. They felt Bell Fountain was on their heels a little bit. If they could have got another score there, they would have gone for 2 and possibly the win.
Interesting. Well, take away the interception, Coach. He still has 2.
Yeah, and Catholic Central's picked up their 3rd first down, this one by penalty.
1st and 10, 43-yard line. This time they go with the option. Pitch back, and nothing going to happen there. In for the tackle is going to be one of their leading tacklers on the team, Jeff Fisher. And Jeff Fisher came in, Coach, with 107. Got another flag down, too. 107 tackles, which led the team. What did they call this time? I missed it.
They called a personal foul after he made the pitch. That's an option. I don't see how they can make that call.
Well, Scott's not in the mix down there, so he can't help us out too much, but let's see if he knows anything.
I'll find out something. No, I'm clear down here on the other end.
Ask Don Heisman, the athletic director for St. John's. I notice he's standing down there. Get him off camera. Well, that means it's going to be another first down, Coach. Did you mark that down?
Yeah, I got her down. On a roll now.
Division 6 starting out in 1994. St. Henry took on McDonald. 21-7 win. St. Henry against New Washington Buckeye Central. 10-7.
First time they've crossed midfield, too, tonight, Carl.
That's right, except when they switch quarters. It's going to be a pass play down the middle of the field, and this is going to be a pick. And no, it's going to be caught. He tried to intercept, and when he did that, it came down to the reception. Catching the football was number 10, John Day, the 6', 190-pound junior. It looked like there might have been an interception back there, but instead of knocking it down, Scott, they went for the INT.
Carl, the penalty before was on a personal foul for Delphos for hitting the quarterback too hard on the option.
So I thought.
Yep, so let's see what happens here now. It's a drive, 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line.
31-yard gain on that play.
Quarterback is DeWitt. DeWitt, man in motion, will go with the handoff on the counter, and the counter doesn't work too well. They keep him right there at the line of scrimmage.
You know, they've been in the wishbone for the last couple of plays, and of course that long pass came off of the wishbone. Then they come back with a spread formation when they get close to the goal line or into St. John's territory.
Now we know that St. Henry in Division 5 this year, remember that game back in '96, Coach, when they took on Mogador? Triple overtime, 61-58 win for Mogador. I think they came back from being like 35 points down or something.
That was quite a game.
2nd down, 11 from the 15-yard line. They will go with 2 split wide left. Quarterback DeWitt looking over the defense. Man will go in motion, and he'll keep it on the option, and nothing going to happen. In fact, I don't know what that was. It was a pass play from, and I don't know if that started out to be a halfback pass or not, but David Durant had it, and he kind of gave a little Scott Stiles pass there, and didn't look real good and didn't work. What do you think, Scott?
Carl, looks like you running through the kitchen. That's what that looked like. That was set up as a halfback pass, and they had a guy wide open deep in the end zone. But thanks to Rocky Klaus, he foiled that game plan. Back to you guys.
This has been an interesting series. We've had just about everything going on.
Well, this is where the Blue Jay defense right now wanting to show just how good they are, because it's been working against them here in these last couple of plays. 3rd down, 11 from the 15. In trouble, DeWitt. He's scrambling, and he'll go down. Rocky Klaus in there again for Delphos St. John's, providing a lot of the pressure. And St. John's just trying to show that, not going to give up a touchdown against this first-team defense. And we still have 7 minutes remaining here in this 3rd quarter of play.
16-yard loss on that play.
I'd like to thank some more of our sponsors. I&K Distributing, Jim Dickman, your Allstate insurance agent, Elida Road east of Delphos. Reliable plumbing and heating. Call for 24-hour emergency service. And the Delphos Food Locker, your headquarters for fresh meat and cheese. So it's going to be a 4th down situation now for the Fighting Irish. Out of the shotgun, DeWitt with a man in motion. That's going to be Greg Evilsizer. Back to pass, a big drop. Ball is going to be caught, and it's going to be short of the 1st down, so the Jays will get it back on downs as Brendan Doan couldn't do a whole lot with the ball there. And I tell you, they have shut down Brendan Doan here tonight.
Yes, they have. I wouldn't want to guess. I'll bet he's under 15 yards.
And so the Delphos St. John Blue Jay defense has held, and they are going to get the football back. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Remember, the next game will be a regional final game. And let's say we'll do a for example here, since we have one of the big guys in the Northwest District Board to help us out on this. 1st and 10 for the 20. They'll go with the pitch to Bowers. Bowers cuts it back up the middle, keeps on going, picks up about 5 yards. Now, as Mike has told us many times, Scott, he's not responsible for these sites for playoff games. But let's do a for example here, Mike. If the Delphos St. John Blue Jays would win here tonight, they would take on either Cincinnati Country Day or Ansonia. Now, we know, or we don't know at this point, who's won that football game. Everybody else does, because this is a replay. Say it's Cincinnati Country Day. What kind of site are we looking at?
Well, going to past history, they've used the High School Athletic Association used Troy, and they've also used Piqua for this division as sites. So, those would both be, I think, possibilities. You may go down even a little bit farther around the Dayton area to Northmont area or something like that. But I would venture to say that you got a Troy or Piqua as a possible site.
Okay, and say that it was Ansonia. You know where Ansonia's at?
Well, that again, you got a couple things to look at. For example, if it's Coldwater Kenton playing tonight, next week at the same night. Last year they played at Walpock, and that may be a site that would be if not used for that game, would be a possibility for the Ansonia St. John's game.
Another 1st down for the Jays. 1st and 10 for the 32. Oh, man, that was a hit. Bowers got the football, and he was slapped. Hit, one of the best hits we've seen all night long. Who got that one down there, Scott?
I believe it was linebacker number 73, Carl. I'll tell you what, March has been abusing him all night when March is on defense and he's on offense. And that time, I think he's just trying to get a little payback. And any time on the punt, you watch. Next time they punt, watch March. He goes directly after 73, and they just drill each other for 10 seconds. It's great.
It's not easy to zoom in on that next. That's Dan Murphy.
I believe he was the place kicker, and he's not going to get a chance to show his leg tonight.
2nd down, 10 after that nice hit. Pass pattern, McCormick. Little out pattern is going to be a low catch, but he held on to it, I believe. Nobody's saying anything. All 3 officials just looking at each other, and this is a good catch. So, nice catch by the tight end, Ryan Morris, who came into the ball game with 19 catches. And so that brings him out to the 41-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd down and short. for Delphos St. John's. Now, out of the other region will come Marion Local and Pandora Gilboa. And I told you if either one of those two teams win, it's Tiffin Calvert and Oregon Stritch. Third down and short. Pitch back. Bowers goes forward for the first down for Delphos St. John's, and this drive will stay alive.
You know, you look at sites for that one. Finley would be a possible site. That's been used in the past. I'm not sure about Bowling Green High School, if that would be a possibility or not.
Well, and as you look at Division 6 and how things ended up in terms of the state rankings, we'll tell you what those teams that are remaining,
it
looks like.
Another couple sites, they've used Fostoria for sites before, too.
First and 10 from the 44. Quick pass over to Odenweller. Odenweller will go down right at the line of scrimmage. In the Division 6, St. John's finished number 1. Tiffin Calvert was at number 2. Mogador 3. And Cincinnati Country Day finished at number 4. So the teams we mentioned, Coach, they're all still in it yet.
And I believe a couple weeks ago when Vic Whiting was on the halftime talk with you, he mentioned Mogador as being a very strong team over in that area.
Right. So a second down and 10 after that nice hit. 42-0 is our score. St. John's on top, third quarter. Keeper by McCormick on the option. Keeps on going. Picks up about 4 or 5 yards.
I'll tell you, you have to give the Springfield Catholic Central young men a lot of credit. They're fighting, they're playing hard, and putting on a good effort here in the second half.
In Division 6, Mogador is taking on Monroeville tonight. Norwalk St. Paul still in it. A couple years ago, the Jays played them in the championship game. They're taking on Toronto, another top 10 team. Well, we already told you about the other ones from Region 22. We'll tell you about the Region 23 teams here after this next play. Third down and 5 from the 49-yard line. Hand off to Miller, picks up the first down, continues to lumber forward down to the 40-yard line. In Region 23, it's Mount Vernon Stadium. That game was played today, Coach. Did you hear any results on that one?
No, I didn't.
Between Howard East Knox and Newark Catholic. And also at Westerville North Warrior Field, it was Danville taking on Morale Ridgedale. A couple of 7 and 4 teams there.
You know, when you look at the true Northwest Ohio district, when you look at that and look at Division 6, you've got Monroeville, Norwalk St. Paul, Tiffin Calvert, Oregon Stritch, Pandora Gilboa, Marion Local, and Delphos St. John's, all representing Northwest Ohio. So we're very well represented in Division 6.
As always. Bowers with another carry for the Jays, going to set up a second down, and St. John's chewing up a lot of clock here in this third quarter. Not scoring a lot of points, though, in the third quarter, ever since Zach Weber has been out.
You know, they had such an advantage with field position in the first half. That had a short field, and they were able to score a lot pretty quick.
And so we're down to 1:14.
And I'd venture a guess that their longest drive wasn't, maybe 60 yards.
In command, though, here, 42-zip. Looks like they're going to go on the regional finals. Bowers goes forward. Look, it looks like Charlie Brown, one of those comic strips where all the guys get together and just drag the ball carrier about 10 yards, and that's what happened there. And so another first down for Delphos St. John's. Let's go down to Scott Stiles.
Carl, I'm with my boy Zinger down here. We're just kind of watching the football game. He's mad because he wants to go back in the game. They won't let him. How you feel?
I feel fine. I just wish I could play.
Well, you can't. So you got to stay in here with me and watch the game. You know, you're up 35-0 when you came out, and you got a few more weeks left ahead of you. You got to make sure you're ready and healthy and ready to play, right?
Yeah, I know it's the best move, but as a player, I wish I could get back in there and play. So
I understand, but you're going to, so stop it.
All right.
All right. Hey, he's doing fine. He's ready to go next week. They're going to just look at it later on this week. He's got some ice on. He'll be ready to go next Saturday night. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Scott. First down and 10 from the 30. McCormick with a long ball down the right sideline. It's Becker with a catch down to the 10-yard line. Nice catch by number 29, Aaron Becker. He came into the ball game with 8 catches, and he skied for that one, Mike, at 5'10", 170.
Did a nice job timing it up, going up, getting that football. They ran that from the shotgun formation to give Scott McCormick some time, and nice pass, nice catch.
And that will bring us down to 15 seconds. Let's see if the Jays get off another play here before the quarter comes to an end. Down to 9 seconds, and they slowly go back up to the line of scrimmage. McCormick with 4 seconds. He looks at the clock. Down to 3, 2, 1, and he will get it off with 1 second. Bowers down to the 6 to 5, and he'll go into the end zone. Touchdown, Jays. Scott Stiles down there, he saw a great run. Looked like he was going to get stopped around the 5.
Yeah, 4 guys actually had him, Carl, too high, too low. And I think the 2 guys on the bottom let go because they thought they had him on top. And his legs started churning again. Great run by Bowers for the score. Puts the Jays up 48-0.
Well, now it's time to kick an extra point. Tell you, it's just unbelievable how Delphos St. John's comes into these games and just dominates. I mean, it's not even close, Coach.
Yeah, you know, last week they were looking for a lot of mismatches throughout the state, and probably the biggest one happened to be the St. John's Minster game, and looks like we got another one here.
Well, 3 quarters in the books. We'll take a timeout with St. John's on top, 49-0 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. 4th quarter coming up next on Fox.
Basketball is all about teamwork and reaching goals as a team. This kind of teamwork is demonstrated by the faculty and staff at Wright State University Lake Campus. As a student, I know that their mission is to help us learn and grow to attain our goals. That's why the Lake Campus offers a variety of 2-year programs, a 4-year degree in teacher education, and a proposed new 2+2 bachelor's degree in organizational leadership. The Lake Campus team can work for you. Call or visit us today.
For years, since you were a very small child, we've been helping your family. Always there, quietly providing support when it was needed. Now it's your turn. A family of your own, with all the joys and responsibilities that families bring. And we're still right here, where we've always been.
Citizens Bank of Delphos, your hometown bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
What's for dinner? You're not falling back on fast food again, are you? Quit feeling guilty about not having a home-cooked family meal because we have the greatest idea for you. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. Yoder's mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, and cranberry relish go great with any entree. You can reheat them in the oven or microwave and serve in 5 minutes. No peeling, no cleaning, and no fuss. Yoder's Home-Style Family of Foods. You can find them in the meat, deli, or dairy department at your local grocer.
Let's face it, cars need oil to run, right? You have to change your oil for optimum performance, so why not have it done at Quick Change Oil and Lube? They'll not only change your oil with top quality Castrol products, but they'll also clean your windshield, vacuum your floor, check all your fluid levels, and check your tire pressure too. Best of all, no appointment is necessary. Quick Change Oil and Lube with 2 locations, North Perry Street in Ottawa and Westwood Drive in Van Wert. Your car will thank you for it.
Back to Bath Stadium, where tonight it is 49-0. Delphos St. John's on top of the Fighting Irish, Springfield Catholic Central. So far in this game, it's been complete domination by the Blue Jays. Zach Weber out of the football game. Scott Stiles just had a chance to talk to him. And Mike Richards doing a lot of research on who possibly could be the player of the game. And right now he's looking through the roster and finding somebody that will fit into one of our shirts. Not too many of them. They can pick an offensive or defensive lineman, so you better be careful. St. John's ready to kick off, and Martz gets the foot into it again, and this one's going to be driven down to the 5-yard line, and returning it back out to the 15, almost to the 15-yard line, is David Crumacre, and that's where they're going to have to start, and they got a long march. What do you do here, Coach? You've been in games like this. I'm not saying you're down 49-0, but I'm sure you at one time might have been.
There's been some days it's been close. close.
You wouldn't feel so bad if it was a playoff game like this, but what do you say to your players when you're down 49-0? You got a whole quarter to play yet when you huddle up after the third quarter?
Well, you know, the thing is right now, it doesn't matter whether it's a playoff game or a regular season game. You know, you're down 49-0, it's not good. And so, you know, you don't say a whole lot. There's probably not a lot of conversation going on. Let's just get this thing going, keep the clock moving, and get out of here.
Turn the bus on. Fire up those engines. Here we go. Fourth quarter beginning. Quarterback DeWitt's going to keep it. He picks up about a yard or two, and that's going to be about it. This Springfield Catholic Central team, the Fighting Irish, green and gold for the Southwestern Rivers Conference, has an enrollment of 168 boys. Their coach, Steve DeWitt, attended Kent State University. 22 years as a head coach. Got a respectable record of 129, 90, and 4. About what your record was, Mike, in your 15 years of coaching. Had a great season this year, 9-2.
As we mentioned earlier, this is their fourth time in the state playoffs. They had a 4-3 record going into tonight's game, into playoff games, and the state runner-up in 1991.
Fullback with a carry that time, and he picks up maybe another 2 yards, and quickly it's going to set up a third down. Tell you, this is one of the best enjoyable evenings we've had at any of our press boxes in the year. I'd like to thank Larry Cole, the guys who put all this together from Bath High School. He's the athletic director. Couldn't ask for better facilities. We're doing our game, got our own little booth here. Got the refreshments. We had food tonight from the Bath Music Association. I'd just like to thank Larry for running a great tournament over here at Bath High School. As always, every time we come to Bath, it's enjoyable. Pitch back this time by the quarterback DeWitt, and there's another loss of some big yards, and looked like big number 66 in on the tackle for Delphos St. John's, and that would be Chad Martin.
You mentioned facilities and sites, and Bath has been very good to the Northwest District Athletic Board as well as the Ohio High School Athletic Association, but there's a lot of high schools in Northwest Ohio that we really take our caps off to because they volunteer their sites to use for all tournaments, and without them, the tournament situation would not be a successful one.
Fourth down, and so that means the Fighting Irish going to have to kick from their 5-yard line, and it's going to bounce out to the 40, and kicking the football was Brendan Doan. I got to mention one thing, too. I don't know how many games, this is a third or fourth game we've done for St. John's this year. I don't think we give a lot of credit to one of their guys who plays real hard back there on the defense, because, we mention Martz all the time, and Recker and Arden are the linebackers in that defensive line, but Chad Martin had that last tackle for Delphos St. John's, and Chad came into the ball game with 93 tackles, and that puts him right at the top with a couple of guys with most tackles on this team. You got Fisher, who came in with 107. You also got Sean Ardner, 94, Recker, 93, Martz, 85. But Chad came in with 93 tackles as well, and he's been playing some great football, so we're going to put a big plug in there for Chad. First and 10 for the 46-yard line. Jays with the football, and they're just going to grind some clock up here in this fourth quarter and put this game to rest and head on to the regional finals. Scott Stiles down on the sidelines. What are you doing now, Scott?
I'm talking to all the fellas. Rocky Klaus said he's going to come up and kill you after the game. He hasn't had enough tackles tonight, Carl, so he's coming after you next.
He's going to have to get by all the food, and Mike Richards up here at 5'9", 145 pounds too, buddy. Scott's trying to find things to do down there, Mike. It's wonder he hasn't interviewed the Water Boys yet. Out of the I formation, Jays with the ball. We got a new quarterback in there, and of course, what we'll try to do now is try to pick out some numbers for you. I tell you what, Mike, help me out as much as you can. Find yourself a roster. Quarterback for Delphos St. John's now is Adam Johnson, and we did the same thing last week, so we mentioned some of the same names. Second teamers are in. I see Andy Kill in there, number 3. 19 and 16. 16 is Casey Klaus. 19 is Joe Metzner.
See 71, Nick Menke.
And again, Johnson in the backfield. You got number 42. That's Brad Utrip. playing the fullback position. Johnson will pass, looking downfield, out of the pocket, goes short. It's going to be caught this time by Joe Metzner. Metzner down to the 35-yard line.
On the left side of the line, left guard was number 62, Weston Morris, and left tackle, number 68, Jason Tiemann.
Ian Weber, another running back for St. John's, number 38, Little Zinger. Ryan Munner in there, number 88. Did you say that? So the Jays with a first down and 10 from the 35-yard line. Handoff, pickup of a couple of yards. Ian Weber carrying the football that time for Delphos St. John's. Jordan Bowers came into the ball game, or should say in the ball game right now. This is according to sports aficionado Tom Usher from the Lima News. Bowers with 111 yards, 14 carries, and 4 touchdowns. So one of our candidates for player of the game there, Coach. Second down 8 from the 33-yard line. This is Johnson on the option. Football going to Utrip, and Utrip continues forward. He don't want to go down. Picks up about 3 yards after a mess, Coach, at the line of scrimmage.
We have center out there is number 72, Chris Godey. You mentioned Nick Menke, number 71. Yeah, one other number 54, offensive lineman, Bill Kramer.
Just seeing big number 75 run off the field for the Fighting Irish. He's a big boy. Doug Palmer, 6'1", 290 pounds. They're down in 7. We're down to 6.5 minutes remaining. Play action from Johnson, looking short. Now he will go short. It's going to be incomplete. Ball went right through the hands of number 26, Greg McCann. I'd like to thank again some more of our sponsors here on Fox making it possible we are here tonight. Mike Pruitt's Lima Ford Incorporated, Superstore, 1360 Greeley Chapel Road in Lima. Nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. Nobody. Your tough, smart attorneys, Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz in Lima. Call 1-800-223-8897. 4th down and 7, which means the Jays are going to have to punt for one of the few times here tonight. It's going to be a high snap. Martz gets it away. And shouldn't say Martz kicking the football that time as it bounces into the end zone was number 38, Ian Weber. So the Fighting Irish going to get it back again. This time it's going to be at the 20-yard line. They will set up their offense. Also, we'd like to thank St. Rita's Medical Center in Lima. Hey, Scott, call a nurse at 226-9000 or 1-800-43-RITAS. Are you going to stand in one spot down there all night, Scott, or are you going to move around?
I got Rocky Klaus here. He's my bodyguard. When you come down here, he's waiting for you. He said if you don't get player of the game tonight, there's something wrong.
He's looking at you in a kind of an evil way there. Better be careful. First down and 10. It's 6:16 remaining in this one. Delphos St. John's going to head on to the regional finals. Starting team still in for the Fighting Irish.
You have a lot to choose from, Carl.
Yeah, he only got 29 guys. Handoff will go to Brendan Doan, and Doan has been shut down all night long. We could probably pick some defensive players out now here, Coach.
We're getting...
You got your lottery numbers down here?
Just give me a couple seconds here.
You're drawing plays up. Let's see, down here as well on the defense, Casey Klaus is in there. Oh, you're lining them up the way there's... That's pretty good. Go ahead, anytime you're ready. Second down and 2. DeWitt with a keeper on the option, and he will option himself with about a 2-yard pickup. It's going to be a first down, though, for the Fighting Irish.
Okay, I've got number 33 out there, Darren Lozier, okay. 23, Craig Baldoff. 86 would be Joe Jeff Klaus, number 86, number 77. Jason Baki, number 6 is out there. Keith Fisher, number 16. Casey Klaus, number 26. Greg McCann. Watching.
1st and 10 from the 32, option pitch. This time the football goes back to Evil Sizer, and he doesn't get much against the second-team defense. Chad Schulte looking down the sideline, see if there's anybody else he can put in at this point. Scott Stiles out of edge his way up towards the coach a little bit closer. Might finally see some playing time.
See 56 Paul Klima go in there now?
Klima or Klima. Well, it depends where you're from.
Okay.
I've heard it pronounced Klima, Klima.
What's correct pronunciation?
Scott Stiles has some friends down there. Who are you talking to, Scott?
These guys are from Shawnee. They came to see if they still could upset anybody else if they played Bath here a couple weeks ago and upset them. So they came to watch this game tonight.
Long pass from DeWitt. He's got himself a receiver, and it's going to be knocked down. Good defense back there by Klaus. Was that 6 or 16? Number 6, Keith Fisher. So that play will come with 4 minutes and 21 seconds remaining. Jay's still on top, 49-0 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. You know, my Fox jacket got some ketchup all over it from these hot dogs up here. You care?
Pick up any more people going in there?
Yeah. That's your job. Just watch the roster. Well, last week, of course, against Minster, we saw some of the third-teamers in there, some of the freshmen. 3rd down and 9 from the 33-yard line. DeWitt, play action, rolls to his right, looking downfield, has a receiver. It's going to be caught at the 50-yard line, down to the 40. Continuing on is David Duran. Nice play from the quarterback. DeWitt, as the Fighting Irish fans, finally something to clap and cheer about over on that sideline and into the stands. So that's going to set up a 1st down. Really, Coach, that's one of the first plays tonight where we really have seen where it was executed very well.
Yeah, they had a receiver wide open that time, and he did put the ball on the money.
Here we go. 1st down 10 from the 33-yard line. The Jays looking for a shutout here. The second-team defense going to try to make sure they do that and move on to victory number 41 in a row. DeWitt wants to throw, but now he's across the line of scrimmage, and he is bulldogged down by number 67?
63, Corey Rode.
Corey Rode, number 63, a junior, 175 pounds.
You know, you get this time of year, and there hasn't been a JV game for several weeks, and so these guys are going out and doing a lot of practicing. It's great that the coaching staff are getting the opportunity to get them into the ball game and reward them a little bit for the hard work that they're putting in throughout the week.
2nd down 7 from the 30-yard line. 3 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. DeWitt wants to throw. The right-hander tosses it down. It's a wounded duck, and it is going to be caught. And we've got a flag, and I don't know, the catch was made. No signal was down there in the end zone, though. But a flag was thrown. Let's go down to Scott Stiles.
We'll see what happens here. I don't know if it's offensive or defensive. We'll see what happens.
But wasn't the catch made down there in the end zone?
Yeah, he was out of bounds, Carl.
Okay.
What they're calling was that Delphos pushed him out of bounds because he did catch it way out of bounds.
Okay, so that's going to give the Fighting Irish a 1st down and a chance to finally put some points up on the scoreboard. Thanks to Arby's, we're saving a place for you at any one of our Lima or Bluffton restaurants. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors who made this Delphos St. John's Central Catholic Fighting Irish football game possible tonight here on Fox. 3 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. 1st down and 10, the ball at the 15-yard line. Single back. They will go with the play action. Short pass is going to be knocked down, but the Jays going to set up a 2nd down. Mike Richards still looking over his candidates for player of the game in this one, and it's going to be a toughie because we've had some outstanding play here tonight from everyone on the defensive line. The linebackers have looked good. Of course, Craig Hershey's got himself a couple of touchdowns. Offensively, McCormick's had himself a nice night. Zach Weber taken out after the first half, but he played well. Jordan Bowers, backup player, also doing a good job with 4 touchdowns in the game here tonight?
Yeah.
Offensive line always is good, so it's going to be tough for you. Glad you make that decision. And it's knocked up and then falls incomplete. Intended receiver down there was number 45, Greg Evilsizer, the 6'2", 172-pound junior. Down to 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Gives me time at this point for a final time to thank the fine folks from the Bath Music Association and Larry Cole for the delicious food and beverages we had up here in the press box. And for a final time, I'd like to thank Craig and Sandy from out at the Carriage Inn in Delphos for their food, and also Red and Tammy Newmeyer for the delicious brats and apple pie up here. So we don't have to eat for another week now, Mike. 3rd and 10. Dropping straight back to set up the screen. That was a sprint, and finally gets it off, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Fighting Irish. It's going to be Brendan Doan, the 6'1 senior, able to get into the end zone. And I tell you, it didn't look real pretty, Scott Stiles, but he got it in.
Actually, I thought DeWitt was going to run down the other end of the end zone the way he took off, but actually, Carl, they set it up good, but they also knew they were running out against a second-team defense who's going to come in because they don't get to play much. They're playing a little over-aggressive, and it was set up perfectly because of the rush of the defense of the Delphos St. John's. Back to you guys.
49-6 our score now on the Lone Zone scoreboard. And Delphos St. John's giving up a touchdown after knocking off Minster last week, 76-0. But they're still going to win this game and go on to the regional finals. 2:44 remaining. Man will go in motion for the Fighting Irish, and in the end zone, this pass is going to be caught. 2-point conversion by the Fighting Irish, and catching the football was number 5, David Duran. So the score now 49-8, and if it's any consolation at all for Steve DeWitt and his team, at least, Coach, they got 8 points up on the board.
Yeah, they do. And, I think, though, that the kids know who they scored against. It wasn't the first unit. And, but, again, they've kept fighting. They've played, the second half. They've, made it somewhat competitive, 14-8 as far as second half scoring. And they didn't give up. They didn't come out with the halftime second half and just fold up the tens and make it into a real ugly situation.
Well, it means next Saturday night, at least we don't make those high management level decisions, but we'll probably be checking out the Delphos St. John Blue Jays again on Saturday night. Still up in the air on what's going to be happening on Friday night, because the only local team that we still have in it on Friday nights is St. Henry. And whether we do that game or not is yet to be seen. But congratulations to the St. Henry Redskins. Seems like year after year, Coach, those Redskins are somewhere in it. Tim Beckman, an outstanding football coach, always has his team in it down to the stretch. After this game is over, check out the final scoreboard. John Zerby will be doing the scoreboard again tonight. Let you know how everything went in football from the regional semifinals. Check out the website, Fox Lima. That's www.foxlima.com, and you can check out our player of the game. Picture is always up there. In fact, you can check out all the players of the game for the entire season. Also, I think they got a picture of Scott Stiles in there in one of his business suits. There's the onside kick, and it is not going to go 10 yards, so it's going to be a penalty against the Fighting Irish. Jays will get the football. Post-game show is going to be sponsored by our good friends at the Commercial Bank, one great bank with offices in Delphos, Elida, Gomer, and Lima. Todd Schulte going to rack up another win. He will be 12-0 as a head football coach, and the MAC will continue to roll. It would be really exciting to see Marion Local win their football game and see St. John's eventually end up against Marion Local. Look at this, Coach. Get your roster out. We've got some more new guys in there. This is the second week in a row we're going to see some of these third-team guys. Brian Clark is going to be the quarterback. Brian is a freshman, 145 pounds. Go to it.
Got out here, wide out, number 15, Kurt Hageman.
Okay. We'll check the running backs for you. I can't remember them from last week, so we'll have to check the roster out. Clark will go with the pitch. And it looked like Weber's still in there. Nope.
We got 43 at fullback, and that is Luke Ralston, and number 30, Todd Ostendorf, is the tailback just carried on that play.
That's Todd Ostendorf, a freshman.
They're running him in and out.
120 pounds. I bet you Styles gets in there before the night's over with. He kind of looks a little bit like Zach Weber, about the same size.
Yeah, but I'm just a little quicker than Weber. I'm just a little quicker than Weber, but you should be able to tell.
Hey, you know what we ought to do? We ought to have you guys line up for like a 40-yard sprint or something. Let him challenge you.
You know, as long as he has his arm in the sling, I got a shot. Of course, I'd tape his feet together.
Might be better for you to run against Richards or Coonsey. One or the other.
Oh, I'd smoke Richards. I'd tell you what.
We'll get Ken Schreiner from OG to run against
Richards would be looking at airplanes and catching butterflies. He wouldn't have time to race.
What's that mean?
I don't know.
First and 15.
I can't explain him.
From the 48. And pick up of a couple of yards. Let's pick some more guys' numbers out here. Did we get everybody? Oh, wait, we got some more guys coming in. 87, Scott Webb is in there. 75, Joe Gideon. 81 coming off the field, Nick Denman. Number 8 coming off the field, Mark Mansfield. 41 coming in, Derek Dickman. Down to minute 55. 49-8 is our score on the Lone Zone scoreboard. Player of the game coming up in just a couple of minutes. The handoff will go to number 43, Luke Ralston. 47 is out there, Todd Utrip. Oh, boy, they got 5 or 6 new guys. How many guys they got down there, Coach? I think they'll get all 95 guys in. Don Heisman looking over at Todd's shoulder. I think Heis wants to go in for a player, too. He was quick.
We could use Scott, have him out there, just have him give their names as he goes up they go on the field.
Just interview them as they go in, Scott. What's your name? Out of the I formation again. Clark with the counter, and carrying the football again is Luke Ralston. Let's go down to Styles again.
One good thing about this kind of offense, you can't key on anybody.
No. Coming up into the press box is Red Newmeyer, Scott. Hey, delicious pie tonight, Red, and the brats were good and everything was delicious. That's best apple pie I've had, best apple pie in years.
Hey, I'm going to get Coach Shoulder here real quick.
Going to bother him again when he's on the sideline, huh? He's trying to coach this fourth team. Punt formation. The Jays going to kick this one off. It's going to go to the 5 and bounce back, and it takes a Jays bounce into down the 6-yard line, and boy, everything going right for Delphos St. John's. Ian Weber, the punter for the Blue Jays. Scott Styles down on the sideline with 29 seconds remaining. And they're still trying to get some more guys into the game. And so the defense will come out. We'll check out again our candidates for player of the game. Mike Richards he's a nervous wreck up here, trying to decide which player to choose. And Scott's chasing down Todd Scholey, trying to catch him. Todd wants to put in a 5th unit, I think. Timeout is going to be called by
Scott Styles.
Hey, isn't he supposed to be in a certain area down there? He's down there coaching with everybody. He's supposed to be from like the 30 to the 30 or something like that. And
Scholey looked at me, he goes, what should we guys to call timeout? Let's get this straight down here a little bit.
Hey, why don't you interview a former defensive back for the Michigan Wolverines down there? Dr. Burguy, probably pumped up. Now Peanut Wrecker out of the field.
I got him.
Go ahead.
Hey, that punt just signifies the way you guys playing this tournament. Everything going your way so far.
Yeah, everything has gone our way, and these kids work hard for that, and the harder you work, the luckier you are.
Now, what's your situation as far as going into like a next week playoff game? You exchange films tomorrow?
Exchange films tomorrow, and we start right back to grind. We break down films Sunday and Monday, and we start to get the kids prepared. Right back to work.
All right, we'll see you next week. You've made one more big step.
Thank you.
Scott down to 29 seconds, getting ready to go down in the field to talk to our player of the game as soon as they get this final play off, which will probably be the final play of the football game. Thanks for tuning in to Fox. Appreciate it. As the Blue Jay fans giving their team a big round of applause, as they know 15 seconds from now they're going to the regional semifinals to take on whoever you folks out there already know won. At this point, we don't. Down to 5 seconds. And this game is over. Delphos St. John's wins this regional semifinal game over the Fighting Irish of Springfield Catholic Central, 49-8. Postgame show coming up next on Fox.
Tonight's the night I'm going to pop the question.
So did you get the ring yet?
No. I wanted to get her something that says, I'm really in this for the long haul. It's a train. What? I'm making a commitment here.
Trust your home to a full-service trained professional like Canadian Sons Plumbing and Heating Kaleida. They have the experience you want and the service you expect. And remember, it's hard to stop a train.
For years, since you were a very small child, we've been helping your family. Always there, quietly providing support when it was needed. Now it's your turn. A family of your own, with all the joys and responsibilities that families bring. And we're still right here, where we've always been.
Citizens Bank of Delphos, your hometown bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Basketball is all about teamwork and reaching goals as a team. This kind of teamwork is demonstrated by the faculty and staff at Wright State University Lake Campus. As a student, I know that their mission is to help us learn and grow to attain our goals. That's why the Lake Campus offers a variety of 2-year programs, a 4-year degree in teacher education, and a proposed new 2+2 bachelor's degree in organizational leadership. The Lake Campus team can work for you. Call or visit us today.
WOHL Limas Fox Station, in cooperation with the Ohio High School Athletic Association, is proud to present tonight's playoff game. A promotional fee has been paid to the OHSAA for the broadcast rights of this game. Without the support of the following businesses, this game would not have been possible. Reliable Plumbing and Heating. Call Reliable Plumbing and Heating for 24-hour emergency service at 695-2921. Reliable for all your plumbing and heating needs. Delphos, Chevrolet, Buick, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile. Delphos, your hometown dealer serving the Delphos and surrounding communities since 1946. United Equity Incorporated. In Delphos, Spencerville, and Kossuth, your locally owned farmers cooperative. Delphos Food Locker, now offering a variety of meats, cheeses, appetizers, and soups. A proud sponsor of local high school sports. Stop by today. Community First Bank and Trust is now offering 6.0 annual percentage yield CDs for 9 months with a minimum deposit of $500. Limited time offer which may be changed at any time. APY accurate as of announcement date for personal deposits of less than $100,000. Interest penalty for early withdrawal. WOHL Limas Fox Station congratulates all student athletes playing in the 1999 football playoffs.
Welcome back to Bath Stadium, where tonight the Delphos St. John Blue Jays continue to roll. They knock off the Fighting Irish of Springfield Catholic Central. Final score 49-8. Time now for our postgame show. And you know, the postgame show is brought to you by the Commercial Bank, where you are always a winner. Bring in any CD ad from a local institution, and they will match the rate and terms. Some restrictions may apply. Member FDIC. Beautiful night for high school football. Perfect weather out here tonight. Delphos St. John Blue Jays roll, and our player of the game tonight is a guy who has played a lot this year. Zach Weber getting injured, so Jordan Bowers comes in and picks up some of the slack. Jordan tonight with 4 touchdowns and over 110 yards rushing. First of all, Jordan, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
And you had to feel pretty good, Jordan, coming in. You know, Zach with a little bit of an injury. They played it safe, took him out. You get to come in, play a lot tonight, and again, as I said, you guys just rolled behind your 110 yards.
Yeah, the line did a great job once again. They always do. They provided the holes, and I just ran through them. And, they played a great football game, the Irish did. They had 9 guys going both ways, so that makes it really tough when we had a 2 platoon, our team, so they played good, though.
I got to ask you something, because, you know, we mentioned this a couple of times during the football game. Did it ever come up at all when you guys were practicing this week, knowing that you're going to take on Springfield Catholic Central? Did anybody ever mention that was a team that knocked off the Blue Jays a couple of years ago in basketball?
Actually, I can't say I heard that.
Never heard that. I thought that might have been a little bit of a revenge factor, but nobody even cared about that,
No,
huh?
I didn't hear that.
Okay, for you guys, though, you win another football game, and we got you down here now. By the time they're watching you on TV, Jordan, everybody knows this, but you're expected now to either play Cincinnati Country Day or Ansonia. And you've got a brand new first-year coach, Todd Schulte, who's brought you all this way. You guys are clicking right now. It's got to feel great.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be here. A lot of guys don't have this chance, so, you got to really take advantage of it.
How do your little guys feel getting a chance to go in there so much?
Oh, I'm sure they're excited. I'm sure they're nervous, though, too, It's a lot different. It's a lot faster.
Well, I'm sure they appreciate it. Got a shirt for you here, Coach. Is going to hand it. Coach Richard's going to hand this to you. Player of the game, hold that up for us, Jordan. Don't drop your helmet on my foot. That happens all the time. Cappy's our sponsor. Congratulations. 4 touchdowns tonight for Jordan Bowers, our player of the game. Good job, buddy. We'll see you next week, okay? Right. Go ahead and go. We'll let Jordan get on the bus and head on home, and we'll wrap things up here, guys. Yeah, it's like last week, 76-0. Now we got a 49-8. St. John's keeps rolling, Coach. You've seen him now a couple of times. And Mike Richards here gets around the state of Ohio a lot because he's a member of the Northwest District Board, and you get to see a lot of football, Mike. Have you seen in the last couple of years a team as good as Delphos St. John's?
Well, you always see some great teams, and they have their year. But as far as for the last 3 years and the run that they've had, it's been very, very impressive, and definitely will go down as one of the top programs, during this run that the state's ever seen.
And will we see Scott Stiles get hit before this year's over with by one of the Blue Jay players or the coach on the sideline, the way he kind of weasels his way in all the time?
Well, he just kind of appears sometimes, so hard telling what could happen. I just, I heard one time he could never take a hit, but we'll just have to find out.
That's true. Well, I appreciate you coming by again, Mike, and hope to see you on down the line. Scott, again, what can we say?
Just they're a machine, Carl, and I cannot see anybody stopping them. Maybe the Pandora Marion local whoever wins that game, maybe they have a shot at it. I don't know, but right now they're clicking on all cylinders, and they're just they're unbelievable.
Well, we will be back again next week to follow these Delphos St. John Blue Jays, and again, that matchup. And Mike, what they announced this on Sunday, what the site's going to be and all that, right?
Yeah, in the last couple of weeks they've come out around noon with the sites as far as that goes, but you just have to check it out and see what's happening.
Okay, and again, we'll be back on Saturday night. I'd like to thank our sponsor. Go ahead. What are you saying?
Last Sunday came up at 6 o'clock. This guy, I tell you what.
Was it at 6?
Yeah,
it depends where you look. You have to know where to look.
He was in Tokyo at the time. Remember that. Doing some scouting. Postgame show brought to you by the Commercial Bank, one great bank with offices in Delphos, Elida, Gomer, and Lima. They, of course, you are always a winner with our good friends from the Commercial Bank. You can bring in any CD ad from a local institution, and they'll match the rate and terms. Some restrictions could apply. That's a member FDIC. And again, congratulations to Jordan Bowers, our player of the game. Final score, Delphos St. John's wins over the Fighting Irish of Springfield Catholic Central 49-8. Until next week, for Mike Richards and Scott Stiles, this is Carl Metzger saying so long, everybody, from Bath Stadium.
Pleasant good evening, everyone. Our top sports story tonight, the Commercial Bank. The team at the Commercial Bank works hard at providing their customers with top-notch service. Here we have Cindy handing off the keys for a new car to another satisfied customer. That deserves an instant replay. Other than personal loans, the Commercial Bank playbook is filled with other products and services that are designed to help you do more with your money. Don't pass up this opportunity to become a part of the Commercial Bank team, where you will walk away a winner.
Hey, our drivers have big and tall shops. Why shouldn't we? All you trucks, vans, and sport utility vehicles, get in here to Westwood Car Wash in Salina and Van Wert.
I love this.